We love OBS, folks. Welcome, everyone, to Haven of Horror. As always, I'm subject of Robert the Shark Wild, and Torgo needs a bigger boat. That's all I got.
Bigger boat, Torgo.
Yeah. Torgo, why don't you get a bigger boat?
Tugboat Toro.
I mean, I do have an ark. You can fit two of every animal on it.
That's true.
I never thought I would live to see the day that Noah himself made a Noah's Ark joke.
It was right there. I don't know what else to do. You're talking about me owning a boat. I didn't know where else to go.
In case you haven't noticed from the thumbnail, the title, the background of our stream, we are watching Jaws, the most underrated movie of all time. So Noah won't leave.
Thank you.
He gets really mad when you don't like this movie. Slasher Fred, it is as if Haven of Horror created the devil and gave him Jaws.
Noah,
Yes.
do you know what that's from? Since you claim to be a fan of this motion picture.
This is from the trailer or the movie poster, I assume.
It's from the trailer.
Okay.
Which is a really weird. It's as if God created the devil. I mean, I think he did, and gave him Jaws.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how that works, because the devil was an angel.
Yeah. Gave him Jaws. It's like, well, Jaws in this movie is like the jaws of Satan. It's like how the mouth of Sauron exists in Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Just to get a few things out of the way. First, we now have a Patreon. The link is in the video description, and YouTube memberships are live, as well as super chats. Super chats will get priority read. That's just the way it is. Just to do things first.
Yeah, sure. And thank you for joining us for both the celebrate 4th of July, if you're American, or not. Thanks, and for the 50th anniversary of this film. That's why we're doing this.
Yep.
I love that Robert took my brief silence as a moment to just jump in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's called doing a stream. If we don't want to have dead air.
I'm just fucking with. No, sorry. It like YouTube. I would mute the stream so it wasn't coming through, and then would unmute. So I was like distracted for a second. But no, unsarcastically, thank you. Tyler, happy 4th for you guys. Yeah. Happy blow shit up day.
Yep.
So Noah, this is your least favorite movie of all time, right?
I fucking hate this movie, dude. It's been a grift this whole time. I've been really pushing for the Jaws commentary, but I actually secretly hate this movie. No, this is my favorite Steven Spielberg movie.
Even though you're wrong.
Yeah, so he has a lot of great movies. It's hard to rank them, I will admit, but this has always been my favorite, and one of my favorite kind of like monster movies, if you could call it that. I mean, it's just about a shark, but it's a more powerful shark. I think
this monster shark.
Yeah, I think this does categorize as a horror movie, even though like it is more focused on characters and drama than like kills. So it's
because no horror movies are more focused on character and drama. This is the only one to do that.
No, but this one.
Well, you gotta remember, every time we show him one, he's like, "Oh, that movie wasn't that deep." Like it yeah.
No.
That's true.
I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying this movie isn't constantly about kills, one after the other. They're more spread out in this movie.
Oh, so what you're saying is it's boring.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to, because there are people I assume that don't see this as a horror movie, and I disagree with those people, but I'm trying to at least see their point of view.
I think it fits in that same kind of category that something like Silence of the Lambs does, where it's like a thriller, but it's close enough. Draven, yeah, which is the best Spielberg movie. Fuck you, Noah.
It's up there.
Draven asks, so when did you guys first see this? When did we do that watch party? Was it like a year ago?
Probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Even it was a while ago.
Yeah, I first see this at a watch party a few years ago. Robert, when did
Yeah.
you first see Jaws?
This one I first see when I'm a kid. I'm with my family, I think at a friend's house, and they had it on DVD, and that's the first time I see it start to finish. I know I had seen bits of it on TV before that, and I really loved it. I also found it very scary when I was a kid, so I didn't go back to it for a long time. But in recent years, I've now seen this movie like countless times. It's also had an exorbitant amount of re-releases and reissues. You can't avoid this movie. It's very easy to find, very easy to watch. It's getting another theatrical re-release in just a few weeks, I think. So yeah, I've always loved this movie. This one's a longtime favorite of mine.
I'd just like to point out that I watched Jason X before Jaws because I'm just a genius like that.
Well,
Noah, when did you first
everybody's
see this
different.
movie?
I don't remember exactly when I first see it, but I watch it when I'm young. And actually, one of my first experiences with the movie before watching it is I've saw the poster, the cover for it, like way before I actually watched the movie. I was like over at my aunt and uncle's house or something like that, and I saw they had the DVD, and I thought it was Shark Tale, the animated movie for
Oh no!
kids. And I picked up the DVD and I was like, "Oh, Shark Tale." And then my mom saw me like, "Oh no, that's kind of like a scary movie. You don't really want to watch that at your age." But I'm
Shark
like,
Tale is a scary movie.
it is a pretty scary movie. I was like, "No, no, no, it's Shark Tale." And she's like, "No, you're not gonna watch that." And then much later, I finally see the movie, and I remember thinking like, because I'm not into horror when I'm a little kid. I'm really
Same.
easily scared by things in kids' movies. So I remember liking it, but being really scared when the shark eats people, and it gets pretty bloody. And I remember like even being like, "Oh, this is like pretty bloody, and it's like bloodier than anything I've actually seen." Now I've seen way worse doing this
Well,
channel.
this is bloodier than Terrifier 2.
No, it's not. Yeah.
I like that
Um,
Robert at least played along. He's like, yeah,
yeah, yeah, no. No,
It's
you're
not.
right. Yeah. It's not in the files.
it's not. Slasher Fred, the book The Silence of the Lambs acts like a sequel to Red Dragon because it mentions the character of Will Graham. I mean, it is by the dictionary definition a sequel to Red Dragon. Um,
Yeah. The book is very much a sequel, and then the movie's just its own thing. The movie is made assuming that no one saw the Manhunter movie. We've talked about that
the
before.
movie is a prequel, but you can watch it first because it's one of the greatest endings of all time. Where like, there's somebody here to see you, Hannibal. I wonder who it could be. All right. Draven says he might have been 4 or 5 when he first saw this. I am at the Universal logo, so we are going to consider that timestamp 0. Is everybody
Yes.
there?
I'm ready.
I am
I
ready.
am watching this on Peacock. They have a special 50th anniversary re-release on here, which is cool. You don't see this often on streaming services for movies. But there is a long introduction from Spielberg, so get past that. Like I said, I am at the Universal logo. In 3, 2, 1, play. I do wish
Yes.
I'd seen this younger, because I feel like if I'd seen this at maybe 10, 11, I would have loved this. Maybe even a little bit younger.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So this is what E.T. is for me. Jaws is for you.
Yes. I
I
had
Yes,
to
was
stop and
because
think about that for a minute. I was like, what?
because I didn't see E.T. Until I was a teenager, and I hated it when I saw it. But
wow.
now I think it's all right. I just didn't grow
Yeah.
up with it, so I
I
don't
think
have that
E.T. is
connection to
peak.
it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I hated it, but I'm in the same boat where I like ET. It's good. It's just not one of my favorites.
Y'all, you're a bunch of couple frauds over here.
It's a good movie.
It's one
This
of
movie's better.
Spielberg's best.
Yeah, it's a good
No,
movie. This
no,
movie
E.T.
is
is
better.
better than this.
That's a debate for another time.
Um,
I consider this as a masterpiece. I also love Jurassic Park, the Indiana Jones
Yes.
movies. I don't know if I'd say this is like my singular favorite. That might be Jurassic Park. Just speaking for myself, but I do think this is his best film.
So
And
real quick,
I'm
I
not sure.
want to. Sorry,
Sorry, you
real
go.
quick. I want to say that this movie does belong in kind of a special club of movies from around this era. This Halloween, Friday the 13th, of movies that are, I don't want to say made, but kind of live on their main theme, the main like piece of music.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Because everybody knows the Jaws. I can't do it, but what is it? Donna.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because John Williams, I think this is the score that makes him like a really big name. You know, he's just a working man composer for a long time. This is such a huge mega hit score, and yet so different from the other stuff he's famous for, like Star Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones. All great scores. They also all kind of bleed into each other and are very familiar. This is so different, at least this main theme, from his later stuff.
I have to
Yeah.
keep reminding myself that this is 75. Because when you said that, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? The guy composed Star Wars.
Yeah.
But no, that's after this.
It's after this.
Okay.
So
Oh, I think you were about to do what I was
yeah.
going to do. So go ahead.
I'm not sure how Robert's watching this. I assume a Blu-ray or something. But John is the fraud that's watching this on streaming. I think I'll just show off the 4K that I have.
In my
nice.
defense, I have that 4K. I just don't know where it is.
I know that they just re-released this on 4K for like the 50th anniversary. I'm not sure if there's any new features on that, but I might
should
pick
buy
that
it.
up. But I tend not to like to double dip though, but we'll see.
What, you don't want to own 7 copies of Evil Dead 2?
I'm not like that with physical media.
So real quick, Robert, because we're falling behind on the chat. Draven says all this movie is missing is LL Cool J rapping about his hat being like a Sharks fan. I mean, that would make this movie an 11 out of 10. Let's be honest. It's amazing how great this movie turned out with all the production problems that they had. Yeah, and I mean that's I think a common thread of any like movies like this. It's success through adversity.
Star Wars had the same thing.
Which is, I think, one of the things that we've lost in the modern day is, well, it's not working, reshoot it, or just fire the director.
Panic.
Slasher Fred. The first half of the movie, God damn it. The first half of the movie, to which the shark is invisible to the audience, is very similar to how as children, the darkness becomes sort of a trap for us. Yeah, yes, sure. Slasher Fred John Williams also did the
Interesting
music for Home
interpretation.
Alone, and Harry and Marv's theme is so very scary. I can't picture it off the top of my head, but I mean, I like that movie.
Great score.
I remember the music being pretty good in that.
Draven G. Spielberg was up to direct Superman, but the producers dismissively said, "Wait and see how that fish movie turns out." I would see Spielberg's Superman.
I think he could have made a great Superman movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, this opening scene is very horror-y. It's the first kill of the movie sets the tone.
It's very of the same ilk of like Michael killing his sister in Halloween or the opening of Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Great cinematography on that shot too.
Mm-hmm. And John, do you know how they did this effect of her dying? There are 2 guys underwater, like she's like tied to ropes or something, each just yanking her back and forth. And then later, they basically waterboarded her to get that audio of her screaming to add in post.
Holy shit.
It worked. I mean, she agreed to it. But it's effective.
Yeah. Tyler, the 50th anniversary set is like $70 here. I'm not dropping that much on a single movie. Once
Yeah, I
again,
get that.
just get out of Australia, my guy. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
And here we have Chief Brody, played by Roy Scheider, who might be my favorite character in the movie. I really love him in this. And not to say this movie invented that trope, but like the city cop coming and becoming the chief or sheriff of this small town. Like obviously, Stranger Things is looking at this with Hopper. Also, I was thinking of like the sheriff in Midnight Mass when I was rewatching this movie, kind of the outsider. He even has a line in this that's lifted directly from Hopper in Stranger Things. I don't know if you remember this, John, but there's a line later where Brody says, "I can do whatever I want. I'm the chief of police." Like they give
Oh.
Hopper that line in an episode of Stranger Things.
I never thought to connect Hopper with Brody.
Yeah, the main difference there being that Hopper grew up in that small town, then moved away to the big city, and then is coming back. That's the big difference.
And there's countless TV shows where this is how we get our eyes in character as the new police officer in town.
Draven just said one improvement this has over the book is that the characters are actually likable. That's true from what I've heard. I've never read the book myself.
Me neither.
This is very close to the book as far as I know in terms of the basic plot, but Spielberg said that he hated the characters in the book and was rooting for the shark to eat them all. And all that, like,
that makes perfect sense.
like there's a whole subplot with an affair with Hooper and Brody's wife that's just cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll talk about it more when we finally do Jurassic Park, but that's kind of a common thing with Spielberg is he doesn't seem to like unlikable characters. I don't know how much you know about the Jurassic Park book. I'm sure quite a bit at this point. But the biggest change is just that in the book, God, what is his name? Hammond is the most unlikable piece of shit you will ever see, and he's the one that gets the compy death. And Spielberg's like, I'm just gonna make him kind of a dementia-ridden grandpa that doesn't seem to know what's going on.
But that's part of the reason why I'm a little wary to actually read the book of this, even though I'm still kind of interested in it, is because one of the strongest parts of this movie to me is the characters. And I just love the main three trio that we have in this movie so much. And from like the out of context things I've heard about the book, I can't imagine any of these people doing that. And I get that they're different characters, so it might play differently, but it's just weird to picture it in my brain.
And that probably was for the best, because I can't imagine having to watch these unlikable people for 2 hours.
There's what I think Spielberg described as like a lot of filler stuff with the characters in the book, and he's like, I just care about the shark. They should only be talking about the shark.
Both Slasher, Fred, and Draven mentioned that there's a subplot with the mob.
Yep.
Yes, Tyler, the Jurassic Park book also opens with the beginning of the Lost World. Well, that's because each movie has to take a scene from Jurassic Park. They get one.
John, would you say that in Jurassic Park he just took a lot of like Hammond's negative traits in the book and just put them all on Nedry in the movie? Or is Nedry? I don't remember how like 1-to-1 Nedry is from the movie.
I don't remember,
because he's like the villain of that movie.
No, because the main thing, I mean, there is some of that, because the main thing with Hammond in the book is none of it is his fault. As he's dying, he's blaming someone else. It's amazing. It's also weird because like he's an asshole, but he invites his grandkids to this island. Like,
yeah.
Is Jurassic Park the single most just like farmed book for content, We've made
Yes.
seven movies out of that one book.
1.5 books, because Lost World is kind of adapted.
Yeah. Sasha Fred in the opening of the movie with the sound of the ocean and the sound of the gulls is very similar to how Hitchcock had opened his classic movie The Birds.
That's a good
I
point.
still need to see, even though I own it.
Yeah. You need to see the superior version, The Frogs.
Oh, I've already seen the superior version, which is
The superior
Birdemic.
version?
I
What?
know. Slip of the tongue.
No, what have you been doing?
That's that lost Roger Corman movie, right? The superior version. I think I've
The
watched that.
superior version. Actually, yeah, Joe Dante directed that one. Yeah.
Draven, and when we get to the Jaws 4 book, we get straight up witch doctors. There's a Jaws 4 book?
I think he means there's a novelization of the movie.
Oh,
we used to do
okay.
those a lot.
Yeah.
There's
it's just
witch
it was
doctors
weirdly
in the
worded.
Jaws 4 novelization.
Because I used to love movie novelizations. I had the first 3 Resident Evils. I had the Freddy vs. Jason one.
And often they're just written based on like
The original
scripts. Yeah.
Because
there's often discrepancies.
The Freddy vs. Jason one has the original ending where it's like Will and Laurie in bed, and then the glove, like the blades burst out of his fingers.
This is one of those oneers that I often don't recognize as a oneer, but
yeah,
it's because the camera itself isn't moving, but the background is.
Yeah, it's a really long take. You're not even thinking about like the camera and everything being on a boat until it
it arrives. Yeah.
This is one of those scenes. If you ever take a film class, we're going to talk about the scene, how the exposition's handled.
This reminds me of the opening of Alan Wake, because you're on a boat going towards an island. Sasha Fred, movie Jurassic Park, the personalities of both. Oh yeah. So Lex and Tim are switched in the books.
Also, this the town corner or whatever doesn't get enough crap. From everyone blames everything on the mayor, which is fair because he's basically the villain of this movie. But this corner guy is so spineless and weak because he's the one who earlier assesses, oh, I think this was a shark attack, and then the mayor clearly bribed him or it maybe threatened his job, whatever. But now he's going along with it. It's a propeller. I don't know, maybe I don't know. And then he just doesn't stand up for himself later.
And we sorry, you finish your point.
Well, and what I like about the mayor too is like he's the villain of this movie. He's also not like cartoonishly evil. He still has some human moments. You just understand, like you understand where he's coming from, even if he makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, we'll get to it later when they try to redeem him a bit. Not necessarily redeem him, but you just see more of his humanity near the end, I guess. We can talk about whether or not that works, because I feel like, I don't know, he's kind of just like cartoonishly evil for most of the movie, and then they try to humanize him a bit at the end, and I'm not sure if that completely works, but...
Well, but I like, though, because one thing they talk about, that granted, they do go in more detail in the book, but all the characters around him keep saying, like, yeah, this is a summer town. This is where we make our money. Like, if we close the beaches on the 4th of July, like, we're gonna be fucked by the end of the year. Like, this is a small town that's getting all this tourism and revenue through the summer. Like, people's jobs and livelihoods are on the line.
Well, and to bring it back to what we did last week, both Piranha movies, especially the 2010 one, especially is doing something with that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Robert, I don't think specifically the aspect of other people's lives and livelihoods being at stake comes across enough in this version, because it seems like it's more painted as, oh, I'm the greedy mayor, I'm losing out on the tourism and the beaches not being opened
Yeah, but he
until the
also
very
has
end.
but he also has a council to deal with, and no, yeah,
Right.
there are plenty of moments where he's totally sleazy.
What's
It's great.
crazy is this is with just like Jurassic Park, a simple premise that we cannot get right in sequels. Like I like some of the Jurassic Park sequels, but it's a shark, or in Jurassic Park case, it's dinosaurs. This should not be hard.
Yeah, it's just a simple monster movie. And scenes like this are just so expertly directed and edited. Like it's already a cut above from what you're seeing in this era. Like we may have talked over about like when the people are walking by the camera and using that
Yes.
to disguise the edits and the zoom
The
ins,
cuts, yeah.
the split diopter shot, the iconic zoom in coming up. Like it's all so good.
Which is another. We'll talk about it when we get to it, but it's another lift from Hitchcock, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Draven, my favorite fact about this movie: this has an on-screen kid death, but still has a PG rating. Different times,
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, like
is
this
it?
is pretty
It's not
hardcore PG.
overly gratuitous, is it?
I wouldn't call it gratuitous, but I would say there's a lot of violence in this movie.
Oh,
Like you
there
couldn't
it
really get
is.
away with in a PG-13.
Yep.
That's a great shot. That's a rainy shot to like zoom in.
Yeah.
And that's the Hitchcock shot from Vertigo.
Okay, yeah, I forget how like little time this movie wastes. Like, oh, yep, we know there's a shark.
Yeah. And what's crazy is this is where one of the more notable deleted bits is like for the first half of this movie is when the kid gets eaten. That was gonna be like the big money shot reveal of the shark, where you had the big mechanical shark coming out of the water and chomping on the kid, and they had a dummy in place of the kid, and it's a really cool shot and like very shit your pants. Oh my god, this is a kaiju. Like it really gives you the scale of it, but they ended up taking it out not because the shark wasn't working, that'll come later. It was because the dummy just looked like shit, and they were like, yeah, this doesn't work, let's just redo it. And what you get in the movie still works, where you just get glimpses of it, you just see the
Well,
fins.
and I appreciate that because there's movies that I think are better than this that don't commit to that. Like I think of the end of RoboCop with that god awful claymation.
I don't know what's happening.
I love the long
there.
arms.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
No,
Tyler,
so
I think this movie doesn't address this. If there's one shark in the water, chances are there are others. So inciting panic amongst the public wouldn't do anything because if they get rid of,
And
that's it. That's all, folks.
Thank you, Tyler.
yeah,
Another shark will be in the water. Wait, hold on. If they get rid of another shark, will be in the water, or another one will come into the bay by the next summer. Yeah, but I mean that's movie logic. You're just dealing with the villain of this movie, which is the shark.
Yeah, this movie's not completely realistic in how the shark is portrayed, because typically if even a great white, like if it happens to eat a grown-ass person, they are good for a while. Like, they're not going to keep eating people. Like this shark is a slasher villain, it's not a real shark.
No, so should we address the elephant in the room of what this movie did to sharks for a long time?
Sure.
Yeah, sure, it's unfortunate.
So this movie comes out because people can't separate fiction from reality. They decided this was autobiography, like a nature documentary. And like a lot of you guys have to fill in some of it because I only know like the basics. But like sharks were hunted for a long time because of this.
Yeah, it's scary. And some of the people who worked on this movie, I think, as like advisors, ended up kind of redirecting their jobs or like effort into shark preservation because of this movie's effect, and saying no.
Why
Like,
are
they're generally
people so
cool.
fucking stupid? This is clearly not a real shark. This is not how sharks behave.
Well, of course, the other big thing is people were afraid to go swimming after this movie.
That's true.
Go back to the beaches
on
and
me.
stuff like that.
Well, and
Yeah.
often, I'm sure you guys heard this at some point, but like most shark attacks, like on people, it's like if people are on like a raft or a floaty or something, a shark could mistake that for a seal or a sea
Yeah.
lion, something like that. And then when a shark bites a person, they're like, "Oh, gross! That's not." Fuck off! I'm leaving. But like there are
Ugh.
many shark attacks. It's very rare for a shark to eat a whole person, or
Yeah.
an attack to be that lethal unless you happen to be alone or whatever.
Raven G, and I'm pretty
But,
sure Spielberg was the one who came up with the PG-13 rating after parents
Yes,
complained.
it was Spielberg.
Well, he
because the
wouldn't have
Temple of
come
Doom
up
and
with it,
Gremlins.
right? That would have had to been the ratings board.
Well,
It
I
was
think
his suggestion.
it was under his suggestion, yeah. But anyway, here's
That was truly the downfall of cinema.
The best character in the movie has been introduced.
Quint.
I love
That's
Quint.
great.
He's my favorite character in the movie. I can't understand what he's saying half the time, but he's my favorite character.
I want to show it to you guys at one point, but there is a Ben 10 episode that is a riff on this too. I just put that together.
Give you the head, the tail, and the whole damn thing.
Robert, because you and I are big Lost World fans. The hunter in that movie?
Yeah.
Do you ever think? I don't remember if he's in the book, but I wonder if like Spielberg was going back to this a little bit with that.
Yeah, I could see that. There's a little bit of Quint in him. And another change I would have mentioned from the book is Quint's whole backstory with Indianapolis. Not in the book. That is an invention for this movie.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's like it makes the character. It's what makes him interesting.
That's the genesis of his whole like obsession with killing the shark. Yeah.
And again, I haven't read it. I've just heard that in the book. It's like, yeah, he's just the Ahab crazy guy. Like they don't really get.
There's no reason
his
for
backstory.
it.
Yeah. Even his death in the book is closer to Ahab's, where he's not eaten by the shark. Like his leg gets tied to something on accident, and he just drowns, like Ahab does in Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Slasher Fred, the scene where Martin starts freaking out when Michael is the fishing boat. Wait. The scene where Martin starts freaking out when Michael is in the fishing boat, which he got for his birthday and his wife can't understand why, is much similar to overprotective parentness.
Yeah, he's talking about
I don't know who Martin and Michael are.
He's talking
about Martin Brody.
Oh, okay.
Roy Scheider, and his oldest son is Michael.
Oh,
and you know what? Okay. I'm on the side of the overprotective parent here. The kid was just eaten by a shark. Get out of the fucking water.
No, I'm not. We've officially gotten old enough to the point now where we agree with the parents in these situations.
Yeah.
In Australia, Tyler says in Australia we're taught not to wear wetsuits in the summer unless scuba diving because we could get mistaken for a seal. What?
Really?
Okay. Whatever. Okay. Are you talking about the Kraken episode? I'm talking about the one where Ben gets his fish alien form.
I like this little joke here where it cuts to his wife seeing the book, and then she has a problem with him being in the boat.
She doesn't know about sharks. She has no context.
Draven says he wishes Jaws 2 was just about the U.S. Indianapolis. I wish Jaws 2 is just not boring.
I need to watch it again. People say that's the best of the sequels, and it probably. I mean, maybe it is, but when we watched it, it was not optimal for a watch party setting. So we were bored most of the time. There's one insane scene in that movie that we all laughed.
I mean, that is peak cinema.
It has its moments. I think it's okay. It's not great.
No, I think the problem with the Jaws sequels is, from memory, I've only seen them all once. They all have to connect back to this movie. It's the Halloween thing. Just make a shark attack movie, like.
Yeah, like John, I don't know if you remember this, but like the main character of Jaws 3, played by Dennis Quaid, is supposed to be the older kid in this movie.
That's
And
insane.
it's like, why?
Well, you see, the
John,
shark has a genetic memory. It's like the T-Rex in Jurassic Plague. It remembers.
yeah. And it's scenes like this, I don't want to say feel ahead of their time. It's just like the reflection in his glasses, the close-ups, the edits. Like this feels so modern. Uh, the editing of this movie is just so good.
Yeah, and I felt that in the scene that we talked about where he's on the beach and it cuts. They disguise the people walking in front of the camera as cuts.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
That's
And
what.
some of the pictures he's looking at in that scene, I feel like, are a little bit more gruesome than anything we
Now,
see in the movie.
Yeah,
now we're in Godzilla '98.
we are.
Oh, are we?
Which is
Yeah.
definitely
So
not looking
Noah,
at this movie.
there is a scene, and Robert, help me out because it's been a minute. But the guy is like fishing, and the
Yep.
dock starts to like rise because there's something under it.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then you see one of his fins, and it's just a Jaws shot because that movie is like 25% Jaws, 25% Jurassic Park, 2%
0%
Godzilla.
Godzilla. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh,
That's
you
funny though.
will.
I guess I will for this channel.
Hot take time. I don't hate that movie. It's a bad Godzilla movie, but I think it's entertaining enough schlock fest.
Yeah, it's schlock. I have mild nostalgia for it, and
Hey Robert, that's a lot of fish.
it's a lot of fish. And Jaws 3, what I like about Jaws 3 is that is like the schlockiest of them. It's also a
I remember
shame
it being my
because
favorite.
yeah, like it's terrible. But
Yeah.
it's also a shame because it's such a great premise. Like that's the one that should be remade and done better. Like a crazy shark or a piranha in a water park should be awesome. Why can't we get that right?
Yeah, it's so
No, because
simple.
what is it? Piranha 3DD also
Yeah.
tries that, and it's terrible.
Yeah, and they fuck it up.
That's
Yeah,
also not even
Slasher
until like the last like 20 minutes of that movie. It's really lame.
Slasher Fred, I agree. I think this movie is very funny. It's got a lot of great
Mhm.
comedic moments sprinkled throughout. That's the one that you're talking about is one I often don't think of, but it's pretty good.
And then I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a big thing with Jaws 3. I think that got like a 4K re-release.
Yeah.
But
I think
it
they're on
was
4K now, yeah.
but Noah, they James Cameroned it.
Oh, I heard about
It
that.
got an
They use
AI
AI.
upscale, and apparently it is nightmare fuel.
Yep.
Why would you do that with Jaws 3 of all movies?
Well, that's not gonna have people going through with a fine tooth comb,
No,
frame by
that
frame,
makes more
giving it a
sense
delicate
than
restoration.
Aliens does.
No, yeah, I guess you're right.
Fuck it, let the
But I
AI
mean,
do it. It's
if
Jaws
you're
3.
gonna do it at that point, just don't do it.
Yeah.
I know. I
It's
mean,
a movie I'll probably never own on 4K.
does anyone
If it
really
was a
want
proper
Jaws 3 on
restoration, I'd buy.
4K?
If it was a proper restoration, I'd buy Jaws 3 on 4K.
I guess. I don't really need to have that movie in 4K. I don't need to see every, detail on the
But you need to
shark
see
when
the shitty 3D shark jump at the screen.
yeah, I will see every detail of him frozen as the glass breaks. But now we're introduced to Hoopa, Richard Dreyfuss, who gives a great performance in this movie.
Tyler says he feels it is important to mention, and I did not know this, that there are only about 20 shark attacks a year, which means a person is 4 times more likely to be attacked by a cow. We got
cow.
cows.
That is statistically correct. Also, doesn't make me less afraid of sharks. 20
Yeah.
a year still sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
To me.
And like,
I'll
yeah,
stick up for
cows
sharks,
are
though. I think they're
cows
really cool.
can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Sharks have teeth, very sharp
They
teeth.
do, yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the water with a shark, but I do think sharks are awesome.
Yeah, no, dude, hammerhead sharks are so cool.
I love hammerhead sharks. Those are my favorite. No, we talked over it, but my favorite like comedic bit is when Brody throws the thing at the window to get the deputy's attention. He's like, huh? He just waves.
Yeah.
It's like, no, get in, you fucking dumbass.
He's got a lot of great lines too in this movie. Like earlier
Mhm.
when the other guys won't listen to him, and he's like, "Oh, they're all gonna die."
Well, and when I was a kid, Street Sharks was on, which was like, 90s superhero animated show.
Mhm.
So I've never been scared of sharks. But obviously I can recognize that they're dangerous. I just love how stupid it is that people saw this and are like, yes, this must be
They're
real.
monsters.
That is what's weird about the legacy of this movie, though, right? It simultaneously creates like this mass hysteria around sharks, like, oh my god, they're dangerous. We need to hunt them more, while also like, oh, these are like cool and profitable, and kids love sharks now. Like that's our generation. Like that's the world we grew up in. But before this movie, that wasn't as much of a thing. Like there's shark merchandise everywhere in video games and countless movie knockoffs because of this. Because people also think sharks are really cool.
I guess those people that were deathly afraid of sharks weren't paying attention to this scene where Hooper determines that the shark that attacked the victim must have been bigger than a normal shark.
Yeah, that's unusual behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Spielberg, at least Spielberg in his prime, does a really good job with his exposition. You see this in Jurassic Park, where he knows how to make people very passionate in what they're talking about, like Ian Malcolm, where you don't feel like you're just watching a lecture. It's like you feel the passion behind these characters, and they make it
Yeah.
interesting. Like here, when he's describing this attack and what
Yeah.
killed this girl.
He's a
It's
very. Oh, sorry. Finish your point.
Well, it's one of my favorite bits when he's like, it wasn't a bolt propeller, and it wasn't
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper. I'm like, you don't know that. He still
Wait a
hasn't been
minute.
found.
That's true.
Tyler
He
says
could be
Richard
aquatic now.
Dreyfuss. Dreyfuss was in American Graffiti 2 years prior to this, and he aged so quickly it's not funny. I mean,
That's what a beard does.
That's yeah.
I haven't
It's-
seen
I do
American
find it-
Graffiti, so I don't have like a point of reference.
Well, it's just funny because in that he's like in his mid-20s playing a high schooler, and now he's just playing his own age. So it feels like there's like this giant.
Okay, so I guess he was in his 20s when he made this because they keep calling him a young man, but then I look at his
He looks
face and
30
like,
to me.
yeah, he's got like gray hair in his beard. What are you talking about?
It was the 70s.
The,
People age differently.
It also made me laugh. The corner guy looks like he belongs in The Thing.
Mhm.
But Hooper is a very likable character that I can see in the wrong hands how he could become like annoying or like intolerable
True.
to the audience. And even in in the context of the movie, when he goes up against Quint later, like I can see how this person would be really annoying to someone in real life, but watching him in the movie, and I think he's performed so well too. He's just more likable.
And that banter between him and Quint, because they're coming from just completely different worlds, is so believable. And you like
So
both
good.
of them. We don't get preachy about it. Like you don't feel like the movie's picking a side. Granted, I guess the movie wants you to like Hooper more, but Quint's like still cool and interesting.
And obviously,
I like Quint
this
more.
movie inspired one of the greatest monster movies of all time, Tremors.
Of course.
Yeah. Which I own on
Land
4K
shark.
and I still haven't rewatched.
I thought you were about to say you hadn't seen it. And I was going to be like, wait a minute, what?
Oh, I've seen it before. I love this one character that just goes, "What?"
He's the best. It's the best line reading in cinematic history.
It is.
What?
But
No,
I feel
that
like
that is James Earl Jones in Star Wars, where he's like, what?
What?
What? But what's even better, in the following cut, it's like he's not talking like that. He's like, it's a fucking shark. Like he doesn't talk the same way at all.
He just has that moment where you go, "What?"
What are you talking about? It's not the fucking shark. It's totally the fucking shark.
No, I've always thought that like how he said that line was funny, and I've never heard anyone like quote it as much as I do.
Oh, I think it's picked up a lot.
I think it's picked up on more recently, or at least I just started to notice it.
And Draven mentioned in the live chat, that's true. That is a real dead shark. They're filming
Oh
both of
yeah.
the scene.
Imagine how bad the smell was. I don't want to.
Oh, and
Oh, Tyler hasn't seen Tremors. Get on it.
Get on
yeah,
it.
It's
and
peak.
Noah, this is one of the bits I was talking about, where again the mayor is totally the villain, but when he says, "Hey, let's not do a public autopsy on the shark because a fucking kid might spill out. Let's not do that in public." Like, that's a good point.
So
Yep.
that is a good point, but then you're about to get the scene where the Mrs. Kittner
Mhm.
visits Brody and like berates him for not
Right.
closing the beaches down. I feel like he just has such a lack of empathy right after that happens. He's like, "Don't worry about it, Martin.
Well,
She's wrong."
that's the thing, though. If he was a good person, he would have stood up and said, "Hey, no, I told him we couldn't close the beach. It's actually my fault." No, he waits for her to leave and then says, "Don't beat yourself up about it, Brody. Like,
Yeah.
she's out of line. Like, you're cool." Like, that's what I find interesting about him as a villain. He's not like antagonizing Brody this whole movie. They have a lot of disagreements, but like he still wants him to like him, and I think that's fun. But he waits
Yeah.
for her to leave, and then it's like, she's out of line. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so ultimately I still think he is an asshole, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really see a lot. I guess I see a little bit of the complexities with him
Well,
before the ending, but
and someone mentioned in the live chat earlier that in the book, what his motivation is he owes money to the mob, and that's why
I heard about that, yeah.
he can't. Which gives him a stronger motivation, but I also think makes him more like, I don't know.
Sympathetic.
It's
I I don't know why you need a mob story in your shark attack story.
I'm fine. Yeah,
um,
you don't need it.
Slasher Fred says even before Jaws, there were many cartoons that portrayed Jaws as being antagonistic. Like there was the episode of Scooby Doo. There is a demon shark in the frog. Wait, what?
Eh?
There is a demon shark in the Froggy Shark, which involves a frozen shark. Noah, Google that. See if that's a real episode.
Okay.
Both Spielberg and Murray Hamilton had worked on The Twilight Zone. Spielberg directed the remake of Kick the Can, and
Oh yeah, for
Hamilton appeared in the episode 1 for The Angels. Is that the
Oh, cool.
prequel to Angels in the Outfield?
Oh, I don't remember if I've seen that episode. I should check it out again.
so that was a typo from Slasher Fred. The name of the episode is "There's a Demon Shark in the Foggy Dark."
Oh, that makes more sense. What year is
that-
Season 1, episode 12.
Nice. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Some
this is the
Scooby-Doo
original Scooby-Doo. So it's 70. Oh no, it's 76. So it's not the original.
A, that's after this movie, and B, that's not the original Scooby Doo. You fraud.
No, well, that's what I thought until I clicked on the IMDb page.
So we should also mention this movie shares kind of a unique thing with at least one other big Spielberg blockbuster, Back to the Future. There have never been talks to remake it.
Thank God.
I think he's put his foot down. Until he dies, it's not going to be remade.
Which is so funny to me because he's like, yeah, let's make Jurassic Park number 7007. Jaws, no.
Yeah, he got it.
Tyler says that is not. Oh, Tyler, our Scooby Doo expert, is yelling at you, Noah.
Yeah, that's the Scooby Doo show, not the
Don't
original one.
Don't yell at me. Yell at Google. Also, all I had to go off with is it was a Scooby Doo episode. I don't know which Scooby Doo show it was, but anyway.
Noah, whenever Brody's wife is on screen, are you just thinking about like how she's gonna be the protagonist of the fourth movie and what an epic, satisfying journey her character's gonna have?
Well, it kind of makes me wish I was watching the fourth movie because that does a lot of things better than this.
I mean, you're just right. Like,
we talked over it, but I like that scene that he has with his son there, where he's like his son's mimicking him. It's just like cute little scene.
Although to go back to the remake thing for just a second, I could picture like the mid 2000s remake of this movie. Viggo Mortensen is totally playing the Roy Schneider character, right?
That's not a bad choice. That I
Yeah.
wouldn't dislike. But I also
And then
think if
it'll
this
have
is a mid
a
2000s
pre
remake,
2000 CGI shark, and CGI blood.
yeah.
Noah's favorite.
But John, I can't help but picture the mid 2000s version of this being the Fog remake, where it's Tom Welling and all these like attractive
Oh
20
yeah.
something year olds.
Tom
Well,
Welling
no.
is
So
super.
what they'll do? They'll do that. Tom Welling will be the sheriff, and then when the shark attacks, each shark attack will be edited like Saw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe is Quint.
Slasher
That's not a
Fred
bad
in
choice.
Back to the Future 2. They make fun of Jaws when they have the hologram movie theater, and the shark appears, and
Yep.
Marty says the shark still looks fake.
Still looks fake.
Yep.
They're more so making fun of the sequels because that's Jaws like what
19.
19.
Which is
19?
funny because that when that's made, like the fourth movie just came out, and it's like, oh, they're never gonna stop making these fucking movies, and then they did.
Yeah.
We haven't
Well,
made
it's
more.
also just funny in retrospect because like Spielberg, you did this. You've done the same thing. You've milked some franchises.
Insane.
Tyler says Noah loves Hoagie. I mean, that's true. Hoagie will be added into the Jaws remake. Yeah, and he'll be played by Johnny Depp.
No, you won't. Not now.
Oh.
Well, no,
I,
because we're
I,
pitching the mid 2000s remake, Noah.
Oh, okay.
Keep
I
up with
love
the
this.
conversation.
I love this bit where Brody fills up his beer glass with wine. He's not in a good mood.
He's not drunk enough to go on a boat.
Now, what I will say, John, what I was expecting to get a few years ago, but maybe not now that this trend has kind of slowed down. Post Halloween 2018, I was waiting for like the new Legacy sequel.
No, and it's funny how quickly this shifted because now I hate this idea. But when 2018 came out, I was like, oh, this is like a good idea to springboard, bring back some of these iconic franchises. And now I'm just like, I'm so sick of it. Stop it. Stop. They ruined that fast.
That's what's cool about something like Saw. Until I mean, we'll see what Blumhouse does with it. But with Saw or Final Destination, they own it. Like, nope, they all
Nope.
count. We haven't rebooted yet. I do respect that. But also with Jaws, if they do make that, that wouldn't even be the first time, because Jaws: The Revenge is a legacy sequel that retcons a previous movie. Because Jaws 4 is not a sequel to Jaws 3; it ignores it and is like, no, we're the real sequel. That's why it's not called Jaws 4; it's Jaws: The Revenge. And good job, movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love that movie.
We know. Draven, I love how in Jaws 4 she's talking about how the shark is going to get here, and yet she's still living in that same town instead of moving to, I don't know, Ohio.
Yeah.
The shark would find a way.
Tyler does bring up a good idea. That would be a great ranking thing, the Legacy sequel. Sign up for our Patreon and request it.
Do it now. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Slasher Fred, the movie feels like it is a precursor to the original Friday the 13th because it involves who loses her son in the water, and the actor who plays her son, Alex, his last name is Voorhees. Is
That's
it?
true.
Oh.
That not so. The character is Alex Kittner, but the actor who plays him, his last name is Voorhees. So many fucking real life Voorheeses pop up in these things. You got this Voorhees, got the lady in Friday 5, you got that Voorhees. I've never known a Voorhees, but they keep popping up in these movies.
Noah's gonna change his last name to Voorhees.
I've already done that.
Noah, one thing I do appreciate about this movie as just a classic that's nice is it exists as it, like, aside from the shitty sequels. But
Yes.
like there's no special edition, there's no director's cut, like it's just
Yeah.
the movie was left alone and it's timeless and it's still great and
And it's
sometimes it's really nice.
kind of tying into our talk about like AI remasters earlier. This is a really well preserved movie.
Yeah.
4K, even the Blu-ray. I'm just watching Blu-ray right now, which is also in the 4K, but even that looks really good for its time.
They've
I'm not
always
sure if it's the
taken care of
same
it.
restoration that's like just on the 4K, but yeah.
There's no way, because a lot of the times that's probably a
Well,
Blu-ray that came out like a decade ago.
but sometimes certain movies will have like 4K remasters, but because they weren't able to do 4K at the time, it's like downgraded to 1080p.
Yeah, but I rarely see that outside of like the boutique labels.
Okay. No. I think that was the thing with the Godfather trilogy when that came to Blu-ray. I could be wrong
So
though.
much effort for such bad movies.
You can't say we're gonna lose patrons.
I'm sorry, I'm kidding. Uh, Tyler wants to know, have we seen The Wicker Man?
I actually haven't
I
seen either
Yes.
Wicker Man.
yeah. Me,
I
I
don't
haven't
know if
seen
I've
either
seen
version.
I don't know if I've seen the Nick Cage one, but I have seen the original.
That could be on the wheel, right?
It should be.
Yeah? There
All right,
might be,
we're not
actually.
adding more to it right now, are we?
Oh, we will.
We don't. Oh yeah, Draven says we're about to get to the best jump scare in history.
I
It's pretty
disagree.
good. I don't know
Slasher.
if it's yeah. I don't know if it's the best jump scare in history, but this movie does have a pretty good number of jump scares.
Whoa, okay. Slasher Fred. You do not call the Nick Cage remake of The Wicker Man a flop. That movie is peak.
They just at the box office. Yeah, it's technically a flop.
Financial flop.
It's misunderstood.
Yeah.
It'll be remembered like a classic, like John Carpenter's The Thing. Mark my words. But no, this is the first scene from this film I ever see when I'm a kid. This is the scene I see on TV, and the jump scare scared the shit out of
Oh
me.
wow.
And then, like I said, I see it with my family and friends, like in full, not long after. I don't think, and yeah, I think it's an extremely well executed jump scare and a reshoot, because it was one of the early bits they shot that Spielberg wasn't happy with, and the underwater stuff they ended up reshooting. Like I think it was in the editor's pool, in her swimming pool, and it works. I think
Doesn't
all
look like a pool.
I think all the above water stuff is from the original shoot.
Tyler says the original is so good. Robert, do not watch that movie. Go in completely blind.
I know like the big spoilers. I do need to see the original Wicker Man. I've heard it's great.
But if you don't watch it, then how are you supposed to go in blind? Because then you can't watch it.
I want to see it how Matt Murdock would see it.
For a second, I oh blind. For a second, I thought we were talking about a lot of the like big meme done scenes. I have unfortunately already seen.
Mhm.
It'd be hard to go into that movie completely blind.
The Nicolas Cage one is weird because the scene everyone knows, I don't even know if John knows this, the not the bees scene, that's only in the extended cut.
Oh,
If you watch
Yeah,
the theatrical cut of that movie, you don't even get that part.
that's
yeah.
disappointing.
That's the most iconic scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, second most. The most iconic scene is Nick Cage in a bear suit punching an old woman.
That's true.
Yeah. Just because that's your favorite scene doesn't mean it's the most iconic. But yeah, no, this is a pretty well done jump scare. I also totally buy that Hooper would drop the tooth and the flashlight here.
Yeah, this movie rarely falls into that trap of making characters seem like stupid or contrived mistakes. Like this is pretty
No,
genuine.
if you
Wait a
encountered
minute.
that in real life, you would react the
Okay,
same way.
You get the
hold,
fuck
hold,
out of there.
hold on.
Yeah.
My movie just cut to ads in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Do we just want to
Pause.
pause it? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm pausing
Pause
it.
it.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
I've never seen this
Yeah.
happen before.
Well, you're on Peacock, right?
Yeah,
Did you
but
pause it
normally,
somewhere?
yeah. Uh,
Okay.
normally it front loads it, and then you're good for the whole movie. I've
Yeah.
never.
Oh,
I
right,
don't.
right, right. Okay. Damn, that sucks. But when you come back from the ad break, I'm at 50-30.
It's gonna
Well,
be
actually,
130 seconds.
I just
Sounds good.
realized, though, because of the intro, we might not have the exact same timestamps.
It's fine. John's at 50:36, so that's where I'm going.
Okay.
Hooper just got out of the water. I think we're good.
All right, then I'll rewind to when Cooper gets out of the water.
Yeah, I'll see
Oh,
where I'm
what the
at.
hell?
I'm paused on a very unfortunate still of Richard Dreyfuss's face.
Tyler, oh my god, it's the 50th anniversary of Amity Island, and it's the 50th anniversary of this movie. Oh.
Oh, that's a good point. That's one of the things I like about this movie is how well realized Amity Island is, and a lot of like the background actors I think are just locals. Like there's not a lot of people in this movie with like a ton of screen experience, and there's just so many little bits throughout that it just kind of adds to the realism. Like it feels very lived in, and there are a lot of people that don't feel like movie characters.
I was gonna mention earlier, but a few of the like side characters that only have like maybe one scene or just like one little line of dialogue have so much character and personality to them. Like that guy that like is bothering Brody at the beach to like, oh, I have this problem, I got this thing you gotta look at. Like he's memorable. The guy Harry that has the bad hat, he's memorable.
Tyler wants to know how long is this movie for you guys? 7 hours. Slasher Fred, John Williams had also worked on the Brian De Palma movie, The Fury. The score does have a lot of John Williams feelings.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
But yeah, my movie's 2 hours and 4 minutes. Is that what he was asking?
He says I'm at the same timestamp, but I'm a scene ahead of you. We should have just synced this up and all watched it on Peacock.
Or
don't have
not,
Peacock.
since you have fucking ads. Tyler, just go back to just when Hooper comes out of the water.
All right.
After the jump
Yeah.
scare, then we'll be good.
He's
Okay.
on the ladder. Right.
Yeah, I'm on a completely different scene. There's like 3 guys out in the broad daylight in a field, like a field, or not a field.
Oh, weird.
Okay, let's just go right to the beginning of that scene when
Okay, yeah,
they're
because my
talking to
movie
the
is
mayor.
2:05:20.
Mine is 2:04:28.
Yeah, let's
But
just go right to the beginning when they're talking to the mayor out in the field.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, they're standing next to like a couple of benches.
Okay.
Who are these 3 random guys who I've never seen before?
I'm ready.
1 second.
With these dudes.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, and that's so weird too, because there's no like dots for ads.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Let us know if it does happen again.
Tyler said that his cut is 1 hour 58 minute. Is that like a TV edit or something? Like
That's the Australian edit.
Never has an official edit in this movie been under 2 hours. That's very strange.
I was gonna say, Robert, earlier you were like, oh yeah, there's alternate cuts or director's cuts. Maybe there's like the specific Australian cut. Like I don't. By the way, I don't know if it's picking up for anyone in the chat, but there's fireworks going outside my house because it's the 4th. Just so you know, that's what's happening. Yeah. I don't think anyone's getting shot outside my house. I think it's just fireworks.
And no, to what I was saying earlier though, with the mayor not being as cartoonishly evil to me as he is to you, I think a lot of that's just Murray Hamilton's performance, where he plays it very straight and kind of grounded. Like he's not mustache twirling. Like a
No, he
lot of
doesn't ham it up.
he
Yeah.
plays it very like unsure of himself and like, I don't know.
No, he does play it realistically, I guess,
Mhm.
but
He's still a bad guy. Like he's an awful
yeah,
person.
no, of course, yeah, yeah. Just it's just to me that he doesn't really show any other humanity until he has to.
Why?
But
Why are there 3 runtimes for this fucking movie? It's funny too because
you're
earlier I
asking
was like,
me.
or Robert was like, "Oh, there's no director's cuts or
Yeah,
extended cuts." You liar. Because
I
Draven's is also 20401.
Well, I think some of ours have like the universal 100th anniversary thing, and some
Uh-huh.
don't. I think that's the discrepancy. Tyler, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why he's missing 6 minutes of this movie. Sorry, Tyler. If you
but
go,
also for me, for me with the mayor, it's like, what does it take for him to start listening to these guys? Because there's already been quite a few deaths.
yeah, but they killed the
I
shark
guess,
after that.
yeah, but it's clearly not the same shark.
It could be.
And then because Tyler also says, interestingly, his Blu-ray is also 2 hours and 4 minutes. So I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
what version you're watching, but it's the wrong version. Draven, we never do see the mayor get comeuppance. Sasha
Mhm.
Fred. Okay, so he's got 2 things because I missed this. If you ever see the cult horror movie Frozen from 2010, the logo in the movie is called Bigger Boat, and it has the barrels, which is a reference to Jaws. And I don't know if
Oh
you
yeah, the
guys
movie
know
with
this,
the
but that
snowmen.
is what?
Yeah, the movie with the princess and the snowmen and
Fuck you.
Frozen, right?
But that is
No, I know what
directed
you
by
mean.
the guy that made the Hatchet movies, and I haven't
Yeah,
seen it yet, but it sounds horrifying.
yeah. I've heard it's good. I need to watch it. That's got that Ashmore kid.
Which one? There's 2 of them.
I'm pretty sure it's Sean.
Is it
That
Jimmy
one, but I could be
Olsen or
wrong.
not Jimmy Olsen?
I think it's not Jimmy Olsen.
It's not Jimmy Olsen.
I think it's Iceman, which is funny,
Oh, Iceman's
but
in
I'm
a
not
movie
sure.
called Frozen.
No,
That's
you don't
cool.
even know which one Jimmy. You don't even know which one plays Jimmy Olsen.
I know it's not
Uh,
Iceman.
he plays 2 Jimmy Olsens. Thank you very much.
Well, and both Ashmore twins are in that show,
Yep.
and they never talk about that.
It's because they don't want to talk about it.
Jimmy has a twin that can absorb Kryptonian powers. Uh, in the Jaws cable version, they use some added scenes, like when we are first introduced to the Brody family. Alan is shown
Yeah, and those types
oh
of longer.
feeding their dogs. I was like, what?
Yeah, well, and many of those extended TV cuts like weren't approved of or overseen by the filmmakers.
I have
And really preserved.
I have the Halloween one. It
That one's
comes
interesting.
it comes with the Scream Factory 4K.
I still need to get that.
What are you waiting for?
What is interesting about that one is that's not just deleted scenes put back in. That's also has some added reshoot scenes while they're making Halloween 2 to make it. So that one's cool.
When are we gonna do a commentary on what 3? Is there 3 cuts of Halloween or just 2?
As far as I know, it's just those 2,
I think
like
just
official
2.
cuts.
Yeah.
Can't wait to make Noah watch Halloween 6.
Oh no.
I've heard it's terrible.
So Noah, who's more unlikable in this scene? The mayor for egging this family on, or for the parents to then grab their kids and drag them with them to the water? It's like, you shitty parents.
Hey, it's the mayor. You're gonna listen to the mayor. He has the authority to arrest you if you don't listen to him.
No, and this is one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, and of course riffed on and stuff like Piranha. And every Jaws knockoff has this scene.
Draven, the 3-hour Superman TV cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because with Superman, there's the theatrical cut, the extended director's cut, and then the 3-hour TV cut that Donner was super against, and they still put out on Blu-ray. Anyway, I don't remember if that was before or after he died, but he was like, "Please don't release the 3-hour cut. It's not watchable. I don't approve of this. It's too long."
Yeah, that
The
sounds like
studio was like,
torture.
"Fuck you."
I don't even hate
still
that movie,
curious to
but a
watch
3-hour
that.
cut of that movie sounds like torture.
It shouldn't be 3 hours.
Tyler, do you have a hard time eating in a horror film? Well, I've never been in a horror film, so I don't know. Are you asking, do we have a hard time eating while watching one?
It depends
Depends
on
on
the
the
movie.
movie, right? I
Slasher
don't have a hard
Fred.
time watching this one.
Yeah, I mean that's the answer. Like, there's maybe because like I can eat a meal during like Day of the Dead and I'm fine. It's so over the top that like it doesn't bother me. But I watched, Bring Her Back recently. There's scenes in
Yeah.
that I don't know if I could eat during.
No. No,
No.
this movie actually goes really well with seafood, of course, because it's a
Yeah.
aquatic, like oceanic
Noah,
setting.
what is your favorite seafood?
Lobster.
Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants over here.
I mean, I don't eat it often because it's expensive, but when I do eat it, it's the greatest
Are
thing.
you a big seafood guy or?
Yeah. I don't eat it that often, but when I do, I like some fish like salmon and swordfish, and I like shrimp.
Swordfish is so good. I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but my mom bought swordfish one time. And nobody in my family but me and my grandpa were on my mom's side were big fish eaters. But she's
Mhm.
like, I want to try cooking it. She cooked it. Nobody in the house but me liked it. So I had a shit ton of swordfish for
Oh,
like a
hell yeah.
week. I was like, dude, this is delicious. I don't know what you all are on.
Hell yeah.
So this scene is lifted in Piranha, and it's amazing where the guy like flips the kids over and is like, "Fuck you, I'm
Yes.
getting out of here."
No, that
Just
scene is
instant
peak.
mass hysteria. There's
Uh,
nothing better than watching people like step over each other.
Slasher
Every man for
Fred,
himself.
the Child's Play sequels from 2 to 4 had some TV cuts, like in the cable version of Child's Play 2, when Madsen is driving, we learn that he is cheating on his wife. I don't remember who Madsen is in
I
Child's Play 2.
assume I assume that's the dad or the stepdad. Or foster dad.
Tyler, all right, settle a debate John and I were having during the week. Would you have prawns on pizza?
Prawns?
No.
Prawns, isn't that like a fish?
I don't think I've ever eaten prawns on their own, much less have it on a pizza.
It's not even a debate. I was just like, I've never heard of that. That's weird. I wouldn't eat that.
I mean, I'll be
I don't even
honest, I'm
like
down to try.
pineapple on pizza.
I used to be, I don't really want to bring that back, that debate, but I used to be a very picky eater when I was a kid. I'm kind of open to trying anything now. But I'm not
All right.
certain that would be my go-to pizza topping.
Noah, fact check us. What are prawns?
Yeah, I just looked at their seafood. They look kind of like shrimp, but not exactly.
I mean, I would be down to eat prawns if they taste like shrimp. I like shrimp. I can't imagine eating seafood on a pizza. Robert, you want to chime in?
I'm good. I have no
Robert's
strong feelings one way or the other.
Robert's just thinking about that scene in Shark Tale where Jack Black frees the prawns from being eaten by his dad.
That is a scary scene.
Okay,
That's exactly what you were thinking of.
Slasher Fred says Mattson in Child's Play 2 is the first person that Chucky kills. He kills him with a plastic. Oh, the secretary guy?
I need to watch Child's Play 2 again. It's been a while.
I think that's who it is because Child's Play. Wait. I think Child's Play 2 is the one that starts with them building him back, and then he sneaks out in that guy's car.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
What does that add to the film?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's having an affair.
Yeah, like I said, many of those TV extended cuts were usually not to the film's benefit. It was just we gotta stretch this out and put more commercials in there.
Yeah.
The scene's amazing, and our first look at the mechanical shark, and I think it looks really cool when you just see it overhead under the water.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
You know what? That guy was weird. Just like, hey kids, I think the shark was the hero of this scene.
You would side with the fucking shark.
That guy was weird.
You heard it here, folks. Weird people deserve to die.
Yes.
And to tie it back to another Spielberg movie, that shot of the leg. Did that remind anybody else of the goat leg in Jurassic Park?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I remember when I was a kid talking about this movie with friends. There was somebody who was like, "Oh yeah, that shot of the leg, it looks so fake. It looks so bad. Do you know how they did that? So they had a rod that they dropped to the bottom of a swimming pool or whatever, and then they covered it with CG later to make the leg, and that's how it looked." I'm like, I'm pretty sure CGI didn't exist back then.
I thought you were about to say CGI didn't invent itself back then. What does that mean?
No, Robert, they totally used CGI in 1975.
Okay.
Fuck, I forgot what. Oh, Robert, real quick, just because I asked Noah and then we got sidetracked. Are you a seafood guy?
Not strongly.
Oh.
I like tuna. We talked about this last week.
I was gonna say, did we talk about this? Did we talk about this when we watched?
Well, why didn't you say something when I asked him then?
I don't want to interrupt.
That's a first.
I like talking about food anyway. It's fine.
Stay tuned for the Haven of Horror cooking spinoff.
Hey, we should do food inspired by horror movies.
Noah's gonna make those Jason burgers from Jason Goes to Hell.
Those are good looking.
That's something we never talked about in the commentary on that movie. When they're showing them, making the hockey mask burgers, you're losing more meat than you're getting.
Yes.
Slasher Fred says Shark Tale also has a reference to another famous Universal movie, Scarface, when the fish says, "Say hello to my little friend."
Oh.
I haven't seen that movie.
And as we all know, that's the only film to use that quote.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, from memory, there's also a lot of Jaws reference movie.
Yeah, it was. Oh, apparently I told this story. I don't remember. That was last week. I've slept since then. I've been playing Death Stranding. My brain is mush.
My brain is mush too for not catching that.
Well, and we were talking about this up top, but it's it's hard not to just talk about the trivia everyone knows with this movie. The mechanical shark was nicknamed Bruce, and Bruce is the name of the shark in Finding Nemo.
And the hard part I'm having with this, as I don't know this movie very well, this is my third time seeing it.
But yeah, John, we were talking about this a lot, but there was the one scene where the mayor's actually frazzled and oh, I really fucked up.
And I feel like it's only because his kids were also on the beach.
This is also a weird viewing experience after Piranha, because I keep, when the mayor shows up, I just keep seeing what's his name?
Dick Miller.
Yes, and I'm like, he would be so good in this movie. But no, that's Piranha, the other one.
Also, with Quint, he has like this little assistant guy you only see like twice in this movie and just disappears. There's a deleted scene where he quits, where he's like, "I'm not hunting sharks with you. I'm out." And Quint's like, "Fuck off."
The greatest example of that, of like just a character disappearing or changing, is The Room, where the one therapist like becomes
Yes.
somebody completely
Yeah.
different.
I love that's my favorite example where that guy just walks in. He's like, "What are you doing? Johnny's gonna be so mad." Who are you? But now we're at this is my favorite stretch of the movie because we get to focus on these three.
Okay, not to bring up another movie, but we've been talking about this a lot. That shot of him with like the apron on and kind of. Do you think which one is it? I think it's Hatchet 1 with the director of Friday the 13th 7, where he's like the weird guy out in the woods. Do you think that's a like kind of a reference because he's like on a boat and everything, like a ship
Oh, maybe.
captain,
Wouldn't surprise me.
and then he drinks his own pee and.
Ugh.
It's a lot like the scene in this movie where Quint drinks pee.
Yeah,
Do you guys remember that?
yeah.
I think that's coming up soon.
I think that's in the
I'll
Noah
watch a
cut.
different movie again.
Oh no!
This is a direct reference to the fact that Noah downloaded the wrong Jaws movie.
Damn. But this is
And-
one of my favorite like trios of characters in cinematic history.
Well, I love like the infighting with Hooper and Quint, where Quint's like, you have city hands, you're fucking schoolboy. I'm the working
Yeah.
class, and I like their bickering throughout the movie, but like Quint does soften on him as it goes, and they kind of grow to understand each other more. But there's not like a grand speech about it. Like we
No,
don't
it's
draw too
gradual.
much. It's very slow. It's very gradual. It's very subtle. But
Slasher
the
Fred.
interplay with these three is so great.
Slasher Fred, Dick Miller, and Roger Corman had worked on many movies. Like they both worked on the original Little Shop of Horrors. Yes, that is
True.
that
I
is
still need to
a
see that one.
correct state. I need to see both.
I love the remake.
Everybody does.
I know Jack Nicholson's in the original. Is he the dentist or is
I
he?
thought you were
think
gonna
so.
ask, is he the plant?
No, he's.
wish.
Yes, he's Audrey too.
That'd be amazing.
It's also really funny seeing Robert Shaw in this movie as Quint, where he looks so old. I think he's just in his 40s when he makes this. But
Yeah, and
A
I
little movie
learned
makeup
recently
and-
this is not too long before he dies too. I think he
Yeah.
only dies a few years later.
But
But he's fantastic in this movie.
he's so good. And before he dies, he is in one of the Jaws knockoffs called The Deep, which I still need to see.
Okay, yeah.
Slasher
check that out.
Fred. Slasher Fred says in the opening of Friday the 13th, the opening shot of the rainy night and the zooming shot of the cemetery was taken from the trailer to Jason Lives. Do you mean the remake of Friday the 13th? Because the first time, Friday 7, he means. Okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
No, because the first time I read that, my brain like exploded. I was like, wait, what? I mean, that's all those movies start with some kind of recap.
Yeah.
I do need to check out more of Robert Shaw's filmography because he gives my favorite performance in this movie.
And that's the boat captain, right?
Yeah, that's Quint.
No, he's the best in this movie.
And he's great in From Russia with Love as like the heavy guy that Bond fights. I still get to see Man for All Seasons, which I hear he's great in.
Yeah, John. Robert Shaw. He's like the big blonde, like main villain in From Russia with Love that Bond fights on the train at the end. Which is funny because that's like barely a decade before this movie, and you'd swear
He looks so much
like
younger.
30 years older.
God, I wish I remembered more of that movie. I remember really liking it.
Yeah, it's good.
That's the Hitchcock Bond movie.
The problem with James Bond is when you watch a bunch of them, they all run together.
Yeah, they really do.
I have watched all the deleted scenes from this movie, and it's like they're watchable, but they're just kind of extraneous and longer versions of the scenes in the film. Like there's nothing I can pick out like, oh, that should have been kept in. Like it's like, yeah, I get what those cut. There is a really good scene with Quint that I'm fine with being cut, but it is worth watching where Quint before this is going to like a music store to buy a piano wire because he uses that for fishing. And
Yeah,
there's a kid, and they're like playing a clarinet or something really badly, and Quentin just starts like singing what he's playing behind him, and it like escalates and gets really weird.
that's
So if you want to
amazing.
see more Quint shenanigans, check out that deleted scene.
I need to watch that now. I can't believe I haven't seen that.
And this shot's great.
Noah's a
It's the
fake fan of this
Jaws.
movie confirmed.
The iconic Jaws. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fake fan of everything.
Robert, that was the shot that inspired them to do the Jurassic World Dominion shot where the T-Rex steps in
Oh,
front of the logo to make the
Oh,
thing.
oh.
I think Robert knew where I was going with that like immediately because he just went, "God damn it!"
So, how much of the chum in this movie do you think is just real? I'm gonna guess most of it.
I would hazard like a good chunk because that was just what we did back then.
Hmm.
That's like I think it's Day of the Dead where that's like real meat but it went spoiled.
Yeah. Oh God. And the actors, those
Had to
poor
eat it.
extras, had to eat it and bite into it. Ugh.
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 I just bet that is Robert or not Robert Shaw, Roy Scheider's real reaction to the
Robert,
chum.
that's your real reaction.
That's true.
But to rewind for a second, because you're talking about like there's not a lot of director's cuts. I can't think of a Spielberg movie that has one.
When he crushes the paper cup, it's so good. I love doing that. Well, John, I guess the big infamous one would be E.T. And then he
Oh,
stopped doing that after. Oh, you don't know about this?
ooh.
The walkie-talkies.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes. No, sorry. I that in my head that's not a director's cut. That's just like a special edition thing because it's the
sure,
same
yeah.
movie.
But
That was stupid, but I also thought the reaction to it was equally as stupid.
it was he still re-released the theatrical cut though, like
Yeah.
so I don't think it's a big deal, but yeah.
No, but I
But
mean
it
like
also
More
go
specifically
than
ahead.
like a director's
more
cut or
than
an extended cut.
Well, the other big one would be Close Encounters. There's like 3 cuts of that movie.
Oh, okay. I haven't
Um,
seen
Oh,
that.
that's right. Yeah.
so Close Encounters I've only seen once. It's really good, but I'm like dragging my feet on rewatching it, or it's kind of intimidating because whenever I rewatch it, like I want to do it right. I want to watch all 3 cuts, and like that's a long movie already, so I just never
Oof.
get around to it. It was probably the theatrical cut that I saw the first time. Like I want to give all 3 a
Yeah.
shot. Like it is a
I
good
can't
movie,
even
but
I can't even tell you which
I don't
version
know when
I've
it gets.
seen. I remember
That's
really
fair.
liking that
Tyler,
movie
do you
though.
guys know about the Dreyfus and Shaw feud?
I
Well,
think
I think they didn't get
they
along.
yeah, I think they did hate each other on set,
I've
which
also
Shocking.
makes sense.
It works for the characters. I've also heard that Robert Shaw was very drunk when he was making this movie.
Oh
I can
no.
believe it.
Which you can see.
It's great. He's still great in it.
It is fun that Piranha 3D managed to get Dreyfus for a cameo.
Yeah.
That's their version of owning up. Yes, this is a Jaws ripoff.
And like I said, by default, that's like basically the best Jaws sequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the suspense here. Just the slow build up of him locking himself in. Shit's about to
Uh,
get real.
no, it's very good. And then it's immediately ruined by him going, "Hey."
He's not paying attention. I also like though that there's not like a forced rivalry between Quint and Brody, like they do have their moments where they come to blows, but like he still respects Brody as an authority figure. Like, okay, I'm the captain, this is my boat, but you're the chief, and I still like I do like that they get along more than they don't until
I also appreciate
shit
that
hits the
it's
fan.
not we're friends. It's no, we have a common
Yeah.
goal, and
Yeah.
once this is over, we're
They're
Noah, you
doing
want
a
to
job.
read Slasher Fred's comment?
In Jaws, the ride during the tram tour at Universal Studios, in the part where the statue of Fisherman goes down, is so very scary.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I've
The
never
very
seen
obvious
that.
stuff. Oh, it's
Oh,
great. Yeah, I've been there many times.
Oh, okay.
well, hello,
Yeah,
Mr. Fancy Pants.
Is the Jaws ride still there?
the ride is gone. That was in Florida. And I'm really
Okay.
sad I never got to go on it. Like that was a full water ride. But on the tram tour in the LA one in Hollywood, you see like different like movie memorabilia and sets and props and stuff. And they have a little pond area that you drive by, and a big mechanical shark jumps out and like chomps at the tram.
Okay.
It's really cool.
That's
And,
cool. Yeah.
and there's a dummy of a scuba diver who like, bubbles up and gets pulled under. It's great.
All right. I'd love to go on that. That sounds really cool. I'm not
John,
a big theme park guy though.
yeah, well, that's a very friendly like 'cause it's not really a ride. It's a tour with ride elements.
Yeah.
It's not like a roller coaster you're getting strapped into. It's very
Yeah,
laid
for
back and
sure.
casual. John, what I like about this scene with Quint and Hooper's bickering is we write a scene where we let Hooper be wrong. It'd be so easy to let Hooper, like the school educated guy, to always be right and know what he's talking about. Where Hooper's like, it's not the shark, and Quint's like, I think it's the fucking shark, and Quint's right.
Um,
Like Hooper's very cocky because he's the city guy. Like he has a working class. He's not a fisherman like Quint is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
well,
the
what they've
hands-on
actually
experience that
caught
Quint has.
is Godzilla. I don't know if you knew that, but Slasher Fred. I don't know if you guys know this, but there was once a Piranha TV remake back in 1995, which had Soleil Moon Frye.
I don't know what
I
that
don't know who
is.
that is.
I know we briefly talked about it in our Anna commentary because
Noah,
none of us knew it existed before we recorded that.
Who is
But
Soleil Moon Frye?
I will go to Google.
Play the
But I do know that that was one of Mila Kunis's first movies. She's known for Punky Brewster, Kid
Oh,
90, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
who is she in Sabrina?
Let's see.
Hooper, full
Over.
throttle. Aye, aye, sir.
She's Roxy King.
I vaguely know that show.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I need to make an ASMR playlist edit of every time Robert Shaw and George C. Scott yell in movies.
Isn't that like the
Just like
opposite
fall
of
asleep to
ASMR?
that.
Not to me. Hooper.
The taxidermy man's gonna have a heart attack when he eyebrow.
Slasher Fred just said that they were in Wes Craven's TV movie called Invitation to Hell. I've never heard of that one. So there's a lot of Wes Craven I still need to see.
So I think last year I went through his filmography, except for one notable movie that I will not watch.
Yeah.
That one's not ringing a bell.
That's also one of my favorite jump scares in the movie when the shark pops
Yeah.
up for a brief second.
Tish the hell.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Bigger boat, the iconic line.
And I don't know if that's improvised for him or written during the shoot, but not in the script. And it's really weird to imagine this movie
Yeah,
without it.
I want to say it's
Did I
improvised, but
watch
I
this? I
could be
don't
wrong about that.
recognize this.
I mean, you may have missed some of the TV movies or some of his TV work. I don't know.
Oh no, I did watch this. It was decent.
Okay.
Just Wikipedia had a different poster.
Oh, gotcha.
There's one movie that he directed. I can't remember the name now, but it has the original Buffy, which I want to make you guys watch at one point. It's got one of the greatest kills of all time. When are we going to get Jaws versus Jurassic Park?
Why not?
Universal owns both of them.
I guarantee you when Spielberg dies, that gets announced.
When are we getting Jurassic Park versus Fast and Furious? Just make it.
Yeah.
They finally need to make Jaws Jurassic Park.
Noah, what are you doing?
I am fixing something.
I am amazed with 70s cameras and equipment that everything on the boat is as well shot as it is, and you get so much variety of different angles, perspectives.
Yes.
It's well documented how much of a nightmare
It is
well, and
notoriously
especially
a
because,
nightmare.
like, you know, the technical aspects of film, a lot of that goes over my head. I don't know enough about it. But just think of the 70s films I have seen. A lot of them are typically like one location movies. You know, Dawn of the Dead, 95% of that movie takes place in a mall. Halloween, there's like 3 different sets and it's all in the small town. This is all over the place and it's impressive. The only thing I can think of that I've seen from the 70s that beats this in scope, and it isn't fair because they're doing different things, but it's, you know, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Draven, we got that scene in Jurassic World where the Mosasaurus eats the great white. Oh, true.
That's true.
And then I don't remember, Robert, have you seen Zombie?
I have not seen Zombie. I've seen parts of it, but I need to see.
If you've ever wanted to see Jaws versus a zombie.
That's true.
Does that happen in Zombie?
Yeah, a shark fights a zombie, dude. The movie's
Oh,
awesome. Yeah. Oh, yes, it's Deadly Friend.
And so one of the big things I wanted to talk about this movie that everyone knows, it's very famous. It's the mechanical shark wouldn't work. They had lots of problems. What was supposed to be just a few weeks of shooting on the water turned into 2.5 months.
Ooh.
And John, I don't know if you know this, but this was supposed to be a December release of '74. And
Robert, I'm gonna cut in for just a second. If the question is, John, I don't know if you know this about this movie, the answer is probably no. It's fine.
But
John does this channel to learn, everybody.
It's some cases.
It's just so weird. Like it's set on the 4th of July, and this is gonna be a December movie. Like that's so
really
weird.
Strange.
But
well, that's
like
the
big movie month.
Well, we still do that. Like, the fact that Nosferatu released in December and Terrifier 3 in October.
Although Nosferatu is a Christmas movie.
That is true.
Yeah, but so is Terrifier 3.
Yeah, no. That should have also come out in December.
And then, so yeah, like because of that delay, this movie accidentally invents the summer blockbuster. And then Star Wars is the next one to do that, but still, like Superman is still December.
Okay.
Rocky is December.
That makes more sense. Rocky's not a summer movie.
Yeah. Some of the sequels are, but yeah.
Rocky Balboa's peak.
I love it.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about the water, because I did have some I don't know if it's just like my brain is broken, but there are some shots where it looks like they're on like a green screen.
Yeah, and it's not like none of it is, but it's just I think it's just the technology and working with natural light. It does give that weird
Creates that
illusion
effect.
in certain shots. Even this scene, which is the other most iconic scene of the movie, like you assume like, oh, this is probably just on a set and that's like a blue screen. No, I think this is legit on the ocean in that boat. I don't know why you could just build a set, but okay.
As a kid, my fish movie of choice was Free Willy.
And I don't think I ever saw. Like I've seen parts of it. I could say I watched the trailer for it a billion times because it was on some other VHS tape I had. So
So
I'm very
I
familiar with
have
the movie.
a very funny story with those. So I had the first one. I watched it a lot. That's my first introduction to like Michael Madsen.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
And then I had Free Willy 3,
No, no.
but I didn't like it, but I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. But I didn't have Free Willy 2. And to this day, I don't remember what happens in Free Willy 2 because I saw it like once.
Free Willy 3, fuck you. You're on your own this time. You have to rescue your ass. Get out of
Well,
here.
what's funny is they made a 4th one like years later. Do you guys know about this?
Oh, of course they
No.
did.
I don't know anything
I'm not
about Free
surprised.
Willy. This whole time when you guys were talking about Free Willy, I was like, oh yeah, is that the one that Elijah Wood is in?
No.
I'm thinking of Flipper.
Yeah,
The dolphin.
I had that movie too. Okay, so for reference, Free Willy 3: The Rescue came out in 1997. Free Willy 4 or Free Willy Escape from Pirates Cove came out in 2010
I think I remember seeing some TV
and was
ads for
direct to DVD.
That makes sense.
You cannot tell me that is still Willy. He's dead. Tyler has seen the 4th Free Willy. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Tyler.
But that's so, now that I think about it, that was kind of a trend at that point because I think that's when we started doing those direct to TV Home Alone sequels.
Yep.
Which I had the 4th one and I thought it was terrible.
Cool.
I'm not the biggest what's his name, French Stewart fan, but he deserved better than that movie.
Yeah, he's Inspector Gadget 2, Inspector Gadget, right?
And I hated that movie as a kid.
When I was a kid, I was like, who is this guy? Bring back Matthew Broderick.
No, I had the same thing. Okay, so because I watched the first movie religiously as a kid, and I was so excited for the sequel because I wanted to see what happens next. And then 2 is like a soft reboot that kind of just like ignores everything. So like 6-year-old, 7-year-old, however me was like, what? But I want to see what happens. This is terrible. And then I go back and watch the first one. I'm older, probably 13 or 14. I'm like, oh god, this is also bad.
Yeah.
But I had the McDonald's toy. I don't know if you remember this because I'm a little bit older than you. Where Noah, do you know about this?
No.
They made a series of toys, and each toy was just like a piece of Inspector Gadget, and then you'd put them together, and it would form your own Inspector Gadget.
Oh, okay.
It was like this fucking big.
Yeah, no, it was huge.
Wow.
But also, imagine being the kid that opens their Happy Meal and it's an arm.
Or Matthew Broderick's severed head.
Yeah.
Which is in the movie.
It's in the movie. John, I had a couple of those when I'm a kid, and then my mom buys like all of them on eBay for me. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, you could do that? It was so cool to get the full thing.
So Noah, for context, when that movie was coming out, if you went to McDonald's and got like just the Happy Meal, you would open your Happy Meal and you would get one of these. Just one.
Oh my god.
So like you would you'd open it and you'd get like Matthew Broderick's head and chest. And or a leg or an arm.
What if you got multiple of one thing? You couldn't build
Yep.
the whole.
Well, that was the trap.
That's,
Then you had to keep going back.
that's devious.
So this is the iconic scene where
Yes.
Quint has the speech where he talks about, I first met the shark when he was 6 years old. He had the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. For 15 years, I tried to help him, and then for 15 years, I tried to keep
That's
him
exactly
locked up
what
because I knew
happened.
what was behind those eyes was pure and simply evil.
Tyler says Free Willy 4 has Steve Irwin's daughter in it.
That's cool.
You guys
Yeah.
remember at the end of this movie where Quint goes, "I shot that shark 6 times."
I shot him in the heart.
Well, Noah, those are his dying words.
I shot him 6 times.
No, this is one of my favorite monologues ever. It's so
Yes.
written and acted, and I think this is how I'm sure it is how a lot of people even first hear about the Indianapolis tragedy. Like, I don't think this was super well known, by the
Certainly
public.
how I first heard about it.
Well, and Robert, I have to say, when you set that poster, I had a moment where it didn't click, because obviously Indianapolis is the capital of the state I live in. So I just saw that, I was like, what? Oh, it's a boat!
Yeah. It's a boat with a weird name.
It's a boat.
Yeah. No, and like, God, like when that boat sank, I think it had like 1,100 crewmen and only
You were
300
gonna say
survived.
11 crewmen. I was like, damn, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
And
No, that is shad. That is sad.
Shad.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I don't want to hear it, Mr. What was it you said? The Great Virgin or whatever.
the superior virgins.
Yeah.
I don't remember saying that. I think you made that up.
Roll
Oh,
back
no,
the
no.
footage.
So also after this movie comes out and is a huge hit, and Universal's on Spielberg, like, hey, let's make a sequel. What do you got? Let's do another one. Spielberg's idea was to make a prequel to this about Quint and the Indianapolis tragedy. That's what Spielberg wanted to make. And Universal's like,
Yeah.
nah, we just kind of want to make a sequel that's the same movie. And then Spielberg was like, I'm out.
I think someone in chat mentioned that earlier, that they wish that Jaws 2 was just the prequel.
It's so funny to me because okay, so it's funny to me that studios for 40 years have done the same thing where it's like, well, this guy made us like a butt ton of money. I'm sure his next idea won't also make a lot of money. Let's just do that again. And then what's funnier is because now we have movie fans that are more self-aware than ever because they've watched a YouTube video and they're like, how dare studios act like this? This is a new thing. It's never happened before.
Yeah.
And the cycle continues.
Yeah.
So with this scene, most people tend to talk about the monologue. Of course, fantastic. But I love the little button that they choose to end on with all three of them singing this song together.
Yeah, it's a good bit of camaraderie.
Yeah.
I think they need a bigger box.
You can finally see Quint and Hooper like starting to warm up to each other, like actually starting to get along.
And when the shark is like banging on the walls, it's like, how does that physically make any sense? It's like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. It's like, I don't think that's how sharks work.
Because it's a super shark, Robert.
Well, right. Guys, this isn't a monster movie. It's a wildlife documentary.
Oh, this is a documentary. Never mind.
That's true.
No, Robert, this is making me want to play Man of Medan.
I've heard of that.
Oh, that's the those dark picture games from the people who made Until Dawn and The Quarry and.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one. Interesting.
Yeah. So right after Until Dawn, they wanted to do smaller. It's kind of like an anthology series. And they get like one notable actor per one. That one has Sean Ashmore, funnily enough.
Oh, fun.
He keeps popping up.
The third one, I think it's the third one, has Ashley Tisdale. And it's really funny because she's playing like a soldier. And they're co-ops.
Scary Movie 5 star Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah.
Oh no. The other thing I wanted to mention though with Spielberg's idea, I think back then that would have been cool, but now that it's 50 years later, I think the definitive movie about the Indianapolis has yet to be made. At this point,
That's
I don't
not
need
true.
that. There is the Nicolas Cage one, which I've not seen. It's probably great, but
It's probably a flawless masterpiece.
it looked very cheap, is all I know. But now, like, I don't need that to be a Jaws movie. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're definitely more sensitive about like biopics and stuff now, where the idea of telling that story, but with the John Williams music and stuff, I think could come off as kind of distasteful. Like, it doesn't need to be a Jaws movie. Just make a movie about that event and do it well with a big budget. But it is something I'd like to see. But it is a fucked up, horrifying story. Absolutely.
That's why I would prefer to have it not have any connection to Jaws.
Mhm.
That's just me, though.
Draven Schneider was kind of forced to do Jaws 2. He famously
Yeah.
tried everything to get out of it to the point of throwing
Yep.
hands with the director.
They
I
got
didn't know about that.
That's a dick move.
I wasn't there.
I didn't know about that. That's crazy.
Okay, but like the director's not the one forcing a sequel to come out. Come on.
Yeah. No, Schneider could be difficult to
No,
work.
there's more to that story, John. I feel like.
Okay. I mean, maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't even know
I'm
who direct.
assuming.
I mean, to be fair to Schneider, Jaws 2 is the most boring movie ever made. So.
No, oh my god, it's a shock.
Hey, Noah, you know what this has over Jaws 2?
What's that?
It's not boring.
It's not boring. It's very engaging.
I love this movie. So back to a comment earlier about like the Back to the Future joke of the shark still looks fake. That's the thing everyone says, and sure, like there are some wonky shots of it where it looks kind of robotic. Call me a purist. I will take this mechanical shark over any CGI shark I've ever seen in it. We still can't figure out how to make CGI sharks look real.
To be fair, at least in my experience, most shark movies now, especially the ones with the CGI sharks, are made for $1.
Yeah.
And they look like PS1 games.
Mhm.
That is not a good indication of what a multi-million-dollar budget CGI shark could look like.
Yeah, I mean, Deep Blue Sea was a multi-million-dollar movie, and
I haven't seen that.
When are we gonna do the Deep Blue Sea commentary?
You should.
I mean, I'm curious. Like I said, I haven't seen it.
I mean, it's schlock. Like it is.
But like when I think of CGI sharks, I think of like Asylum crap and.
Well, but also like Shark Night was a decent budget.
What?
Movies. Shark Night 3D.
I've never heard of that. Is that just a parody of The Dark Knight, but with a shark?
Oh, I wish.
Shark Knight.
That sounds amazing. But like you get to Quint's death in this, and it's just so visceral and shocking, and I think it still looks great because you're looking at a real fucking thing. Because even if like my brain is telling me like, oh, that's obviously a mechanical shark, it still looks dangerous. Like it still looks real when it's just chopping down on him. Like, oh god.
I don't think the shark looks that bad, and I think it's because we see it so little. I don't get the chance to.
Oh, I forgot about the Meg. How's the shark in that?
That's different because it is a kaiju shark, but
that's not trying to be.
I necessarily shouldn't have said anything. I do kind of make it a point to avoid shark movies for the very reason that I mentioned. Yeah, they typically all suck.
And this is something that this is a point that many people have made. It's like tiring to talk about, but I'll echo it. The fact that the shark didn't work properly is to the movie's benefit. For stuff like this, where we can see the barrel moving, and that signifies to us that's where the shark is. And I think just like the tension is made so much better when we can't see it.
There is something to be said for these older movies where if something went wrong, you had to work around it. It's not we could fix it in post.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Which I think is
the
the detriment to
currents.
many movies.
Well, and Noah, to kind of expand on that point, because that is a thing I wanted to dive into. It's like that is the myth of this movie of, oh, the shark didn't work and that made it a good movie. It's a little overblown, because if you actually look at the shooting history of this movie, Noah, the first half, they were actually really smart about this. Basically, the first half of the shoot was the first half of the movie, all the land scenes.
Yeah.
They kind of shot the movie in order and then saved the ocean stuff for the end, which they expected to just be a few weeks. It's 2.5 months. But
Oh boy.
I just say that if the mechanical shark like had worked smoothly, 2/3 of this movie are the same, and like it's still a good movie. But I agree with you that the problems and workarounds like are to its benefit. But there is kind of a myth or picture people have of, oh, you were probably supposed to see the mechanical shark like all throughout the movie. That's not true.
No, and that's not really what I mean.
No, because I mean, even especially in the late 70s, early 80s, the rule was don't tell or don't show, like tell or describe. You save the reveal.
And well, Alien was pitched as Jaws in space, where part of the point is you don't see it a lot. It's in the shadows.
This movie would be better if it had a scene like the Happy Birthday scene, where the shark just went.
The shark has hands now.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be terrifying.
No, that is the biggest disappointment about Piranha 3D not getting a sequel. I want to see those little fucking piranhas with legs.
They go, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, the Happy Birthday shot is one of the greatest shots in all of cinema. So
I love it. And then, no, the shark's pulling them.
Yeah. No,
and obviously, we have to talk about the greatest shark in all of cinema, King Shark.
And... You dumb friends.
Hungry. Nom nom.
And Noah, like one of the stories behind this movie, at least from the perspective of people who don't like Spielberg, it's some people give a lot of the credit to Verna Fields, the editor, for cutting a lot of the shark stuff out of the movie because it looked bad. Again, that's not giving Spielberg enough credit, because a lot of that stuff is changed and decided on while they're making the movie. What's actually probably happened is a lot of the footage cutting out was probably the real life shark footage that was shot by a different team. That you see a little bit in the third act of this movie. They ended up using very there are a few shots of a real great white underwater. So it is possible that the original idea was you were supposed to see a lot more underwater shots of it, and then it may have been decided later, no, let's keep it entirely POV.
Yeah.
But stuff like with the two guys is, just like it is in the movie.
Slash Fred, exactly like I said before, not seeing the shark is very similar to how when we were younger, Fear of the Dark, it created the image of the boogeyman. Yeah, but I mean that's tales close as old as time. You fear what you can't see, or a fear of the unknown.
Oh my god, he's got a machete.
That is one thing in some of the Friday movies. I think the editing is to its advantage. Like the sleeping bag kill, I think is better because they had to trim it down where it's just one hit, she's dead. It shows you how powerful he is, how unstoppable he is.
Even like the shower scene in Psycho, how that's edited, and you don't really see any blood.
Or how it's in the remake and there's weird like spliced in footage.
Yeah, the improved version, yes.
Yeah.
And then again, Noah, where you're right that I think it is the troubled production was to the movie's benefit. It's this last third is definitely what changes the most from the script to while they're making it.
Yes.
Like there's so many little bits, like we talked over it earlier, like like Quint strapping himself in, like the fishing line and like the suspense, like that's figured out on the day. Like, well, the shark isn't working, let's do something to shoot. So a lot of like the suspense and little bits, like when Hooper gets stuck on the rope, like that all comes while making it. And there are also many days of footage that's just was wasted and not used because this was over budget.
Yeah, so that's a little unfair where people blame Spielberg, or not blame Spielberg, but kind of use, like he was there on the day changing. Yeah, like
Figuring this out.
He's still in charge of the production the whole way through.
Well, John, the funniest like mishap, like I think this was the first big problem they ran into. I think it was like the first day shooting on the ocean with the mechanical shark. They put the shark in the water, and then it just fucking sinks to the bottom because they had tested it in like swimming pools and tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't account for the salt water, so all the salt gets stuck to it, and then just makes it sink. Like, well,
they sink now.
That was like the first big problem they ran into.
Tyler, so I didn't realize this, but the book comes out in early 1974, so Spielberg must have been on this straight away. I mean, we do that now. Like the author of the Hunger Games puts out a book, and the movie is announced like immediately.
Yeah. Well, and
is this Spielberg's first major movie?
I'd say it's his first major picture. He made 2 movies before this, I think. Yeah, obviously much lower budget, but I think this is like his first big.
He did a movie called Duel, which is basically Jaws with a truck.
Oh, Pete.
But that's a TV, and that's
but that
a TV movie,
right? Yeah, that I think is. I think that's an episode of that Amazing Stories show, or maybe that's somewhere connected to that. I think it's a part of some sort of anthology.
Okay,
yeah, that's like his first feature-length movie, I think.
Okay.
And I think Sugarland Express is before this, which I still need to see.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like Sugarland Express.
Let's see that. And has he? Because I don't know a lot of Spielberg's filmography. I just know like the big ones. Has he ever made just like a straight up horror film?
I think so.
I think Jurassic Park is the closest he gets to like this type of movie in terms of tone. Well, and War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds he tries to.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. But this War of the Worlds and Jurassic Park, I'd say, are more horror adjacent.
What a trilogy! Jaws, Jurassic Park, and War of the Worlds. Well, no, because I feel like he hit a slump into like mid 2000s. Because he did Minority Report, didn't he?
Especially. He did a Minority Report, which I
remember liking that, but it's been forever.
It's good.
I heard it's a good one.
Yeah. It's good.
Cool idea. I think they tried to turn that into a show.
That one.
Oh, and yes, of course, he was involved to some degree with Poltergeist.
Did he ghost direct it? Did he not? Who knows?
Who cares?
This is one of my favorite character bits with Quint, where earlier he says after the Indianapolis incident that he'd never wear a life jacket again, or a life preserver again. And then he gives a couple to Hooper and Brody, but he doesn't wear one himself.
Yeah.
Just a nice little character. Like he'd rather. Although it doesn't work out for him, but I get where he's coming from.
Slasher.
He does go down with the ship.
The War of the Worlds has a cameo at the end from the actors who were in the '53 original.
That's
true. I
don't
think I've actually seen War of the Worlds. I've seen the Scary Movie 4 parody, but
the '50s one's great. It's classic, and I don't hate the Spielberg one as much as everyone else does, but I need to rewatch it. I've seen it a long time, but I liked it when I was a kid.
I don't think even everybody hates that movie. I think a few
people. I think it's Noah specifically.
What?
I said I think it's Noah specifically that hates it.
I haven't
Just
seen
Noah.
It. I still need to watch it. I still need to watch the '50s one too.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of them.
The best adaptation of War of the Worlds, though, is the radio show.
That's great.
Tyler says, I would never be getting in that cage. Hooper is one of the bravest men.
That is
Men
true.
are brave.
I am curious how Hooper's personality compares to Hooper in the book, because, like I said, in the book he sleeps with Brody's wife, and there's all this other shit that's just not in the movie.
So with that, and if he has the same personality he does in this movie, he's an immediately more unlikable character.
Yeah. But I also know he's in the movie rewritten to fit Richard Dreyfuss more.
Okay.
I've heard he's
Does
the character changed the most from the script to screen.
did the author did the author ever talk about this movie?
Peter Benchley, he's credited as one of the screenwriters.
Oh.
I don't know how much of his draft is actually intact, but his name's still on it, and he has a cameo earlier.
So I'm assuming he approved.
Yeah. The only thing he didn't approve of, since we're on this topic, is the ending with the shark blowing up. That's not in the book. And he didn't like that change because it's not realistic. And they're like, come on, man.
That's the part that was like too far for him.
Well, I get it. That is the most like movie moment of this movie, but it's so cathartic. Like
it's
after
a monster
the whole thing.
shark. It's not a real.
What did they do with it in the book?
It's basically the same thing where the shark is like swimming toward Brody, but instead of fighting back, Brody just accepts his fate because he's the only one left and thinks he's gonna die. And then the shark just stops and like turns over and dies just from all its wounds. And, like,
yes, that's more realistic.
That's a satisfying climax for a movie.
I'm fine with the explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Fuck off, dude.
Like if it was just the author, if it was just the author saying, "Oh, that's not how I did it. I prefer how I did it," I could respect that. But to be like, "That's not realistic." Fuck off.
Yeah, I think you still like the movie though. I think it's just that bit.
Yeah. This music is so good.
This whole scene's amazing.
If you can believe it, that John Williams guy, he can make music.
And it's one of those bits where you can critique how like the real shark footage like doesn't match the mechanical shark, but I think it's fine. I think they're pretty well.
It adds to the charm.
Mm-hmm. And the shots where it's just like blank blue water with like the shark's shadow in the distance, like fucking terrifying.
I really like this jump scare coming up too, where you see the shark enter the frame before you hear the loud noise.
Yeah, motherfucker. So when they're shooting this bit with the real shark, you can see it right there. They do have like a prop cage that they were trying to get a real shark to fight for some shots, and there's a part where the shark gets tangled up in the cage and is like twisting and flipping around in it, but they forgot to have the stunt guy in there, so there's no guy in the cage. But when they got the footage back, Spielberg was like, "Oh man, that's so great! I have to put in the movie." So originally during the sequence, like the book, Hooper's supposed to die in this. Hooper gets eaten by the shark here, but because they had that footage of a real shark tangled up in that prop cage, they rewrote the scene to have Hooper escape to not fuck up the continuity. So somebody has a quote about, so like, thanks to that real shark in Australia or whatever, Hooper lives. Like a real shark rewrote this movie.
That's amazing.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
And it was also, I think, a change made during production of like, we really like let's this is a good excuse for that.
Because I was thinking about this on my most recent rewatch. Is it
there it is?
Here, you can tell that's a real shark.
There it is. Yeah. Is it too like hopeful or like kind of like did Hooper need to die or did he need? And I'm glad that he died. So I'm glad that they made that change.
speaking of Jurassic Park again, he's the Ian Malcolm of this movie,
Yeah.
right? Ian Malcolm dies
Yeah.
in the book, but in the movie they're like, he's great. Let's let him live.
Let's let him live.
Well, and I do wonder if there was already talks of like maybe he's the sequel.
I think they did ask Richard Dreyfuss to come back, and he said no. They couldn't get him. So like,
He's
Roy
like, no.
Schneider.
Yeah, drag Schneider back, folks.
The dad from Smallville?
Yeah. Well, you know, he's got a little off the deep end, but it's fine.
Oh,
Robert,
he
he's
really
one of
fucked
them.
No, when I was a kid, first watched this movie, when Quentin dies, like that was the most violent thing. Oh my god!
That stuck with me when I first watched it.
What I like about this is it kind of forces that confrontation. Like, now you're out of time.
Yeah. Again, because as we all know, a real shark would just jump out of the water and land on a boat
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah, this is very realistic.
And like I said, it's bits like this where like, yeah, I can tell it's a mechanical shark. It's also real. Like it looks dangerous.
It's tangible.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a cartoon creature.
No, this is surprisingly brutal for a 70s movie.
Mm-hmm. The 70s PG movie, yeah. And the fake
You
blood
get-
looks good.
So you get back to the scenes like this, and I'm like, this is why I consider this a horror movie.
Right.
No, I mean, this
It's a
is
monster movie.
yeah.
Is this any less of a horror movie than something like Creature from the Black Lagoon? Like, horror movies come in all shapes and sizes and tones.
Absolutely. And yeah, Draven, yeah, this is PG. Superman was
so-
also released in the 70s. That's way less violent than this. That's PG.
So
Star Wars.
What was his name? Hooper.
Star Wars.
He lived. Where's he at?
He was just hiding.
He
Oh.
hid. Yeah, he hid.
He's like, I'm done for this movie.
Yeah. I mean, what are you? Like, he's hiding away from the scary shark. That's the only like kind of nitpick you could throw at this climax is, it doesn't really get
Like, why doesn't he
Hooper
pop up
character.
like right here?
But it's fine. It's a good hero moment for Brody, and I really love stories like this of like that adversity, like those everyman stories who go through like this crazy adventure. Like this guy was just a cop, and now a chief of this little town, and now he's fighting a fucking shark. And it's really cool, and it's earned.
Tyler says, yeah, this movie does make me more anxious to go in the ocean. Well, yeah, because I don't know if you know this, but there are sharks the size of boats out there. And
Yeah.
they leap onto boats. And, oh, there go the fireworks. I don't know if you guys can hear it on my end.
I heard a little bit.
It's all good. Happy 4th, everybody.
Happy 4th, everyone. We should have done Return of the Living Dead, but it's fine.
We'll do it next year.
And we were talking about the book earlier and the writer being involved. Even on the poster, the tagline was the terrifying motion picture from the terrifying #1 bestseller. Like obviously everyone knows this is based on a book, but it is that rare movie that completely eclipses. You always hear, oh, the book's always better than the movie. Never hear that with Jaws.
There's a few movies
And
you don't hear that.
I don't know if
about,
this
too.
is a hot take. I don't necessarily think that's true when
Hell
it comes
yeah.
to Jurassic Park. I think they're very different. Jurassic Park is a great book. You have to be, I love that. You have to like a specific type of writing because it is very dry and scientific. Jurassic Park, the movie, is just anybody can pick that up and watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a cathartic moment. Smiley,
Tyler
son of a
says the
bitch.
movie's over for him.
Oh.
Goodbye, Tyler.
Okay.
I sent this to Noah,
Cuts
but
to credits right at the shot where the shark blows up. Directed by Steven Spielberg.
I sent this to Noah, but Iceland Kills did a song for this movie, or based on this movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And they do the "You Son of a Bitch" right before it goes into the breakdown, and the breakdown is a metal version of the Jaws theme. It's
Fuck yeah.
awesome.
Hell yeah. And, but also with books,
There he
I
is.
guess he's back. He's back, everybody. Psycho's like the other big one I think of, where that movie comes out a year after that book comes out, and like no one talks about the Psycho book. People just remember the movie.
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, it's true.
Draven G, remember in Jaws 4 where they say the fear of the shark killed Brody?
Fuck that movie.
No, that's canonically what
sense.
happened.
Yeah.
Tyler, Jurassic Park is a great book, one of my all-time favorites. Dennis, I'm not leaving.
We can't make him leave.
I mean, it is a great book, but like, it's more niche. The movie softens those rough edges, because the first, like, I don't know, maybe third is all real scientific and like gets into how the dinosaurs are made. The movie condenses and moves on.
The book also has a really scary, unnerving scene early on that you will never see in a Jurassic World movie.
Which one?
It's the one with the baby.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
remember if
don't the
it's
raptors?
compies, but it's raptors or compies, but yeah, it's fucked up.
Peacock's like, would you
That's
like to
Jaws,
watch
everybody.
Jaws 2? No.
Yeah.
I would not.
No.
Well,
All-nighter,
that'll be in
Jaws
Jurassic
Marathon.
World. What are we on now? 8?
7.
No.
Wait, what are we talking about?
No, because so if you count as a franchise, the new one would
Jurassic
be
Park?
7. So
Yeah.
the next movie would be 8.
Gotcha.
God, can you believe we're on the friggin' 8th one?
I
Stop it.
remember a long ass period of time where there were just 3 movies,
And they were all pretty good.
and I was waiting and waiting for a 4th one, and that turned into a real monkey's paw situation.
So what you're saying is that's all your fault.
Yes.
Robert killed the Jurassic Park franchise. That's
Jeffrey
Jaws. It's a
Voorhees.
masterpiece.
It
love
is
it.
pretty good.
So yeah, happy 50th anniversary to this movie. One of my favorites of all time.
I was like,
Love
I
it.
think. Oh, now Peacock is trying to get me to watch Wicked. No! I'm not watching a 3-hour musical about Wizard of Oz. Fuck off. Yeah. Draven, doesn't the book end with the island getting nuked? No, they set it on fire.
Yeah, it's like a scorched earth thing. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Which, then the next book's like, it doesn't matter, there's a second island.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ian didn't actually die. That's the most unrealistic thing about that Lost World book, is he's walking around that island with a fucking cane and limping. Dinosaur are going to eat him.
And he wants to be there.
Yeah, why?
He doesn't want to leave.
Tyler, what killed the dinosaurs? Robert Wilde. Oh,
Shoot.
you son
Did
of a bitch.
The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
The women and the children, too.
No,
I hate them.
he was quoting this movie.
Yeah, and then I quoted a better movie.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh.
Join us next week for Attack of the Clones commentary. It's horror,
Oh,
Jason.
God. I might fall asleep. That movie's so
It's
boring.
pretty scary.
All right, Robert, would you like to remind everyone what we were doing next week? Because I believe it is your pick for He Made Me Watch. ish.
Yeah, so next week I am making these guys watch the original When a Stranger Calls. We're just going to review that. That's not going to be a commentary. And then after the review, we're going to do a commentary on the first Jurassic Park. Because why not? We're in the mood for it. So both of those will be
Even
next
though we're
week.
late. Because Robert was like, I can't do a second movie tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also can't, so it would have been just you alone.
No, I would have made you stay. It's fine. So yes, and then the week after that, we are getting back to our original and remake with 13 Ghosts. And neither of you have seen that remake, right?
I've seen the
Correct.
remake, but not the original.
Okay, and then you just haven't seen the remake? Or you haven't seen either one?
No, I've seen the original 13 Ghosts. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Interesting.
wild. I think you're the only person I've met that has seen the original but not the remake.
I saw it a long time ago too.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen the original.
I'm pretty sure very different.
Yeah. I am nervous to watch the original again. I loved it as a kid or as like a teenager. But the last time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is kind of irritating. So we'll see. Matthew Lillard's great in it though. He always is.
I've heard he's great. I've heard he's the highlight.
Okay, and the next Friday it'll be Noah's pick. So Noah, you will need or it'll be your turn to pick something when we're done with the review. So you will need to pick a thing.
Yep.
And Noah's like, what? Oh.
No, I have a few choices in mind. I'm not going to reveal them.
No, I'm not asking you to. And then Robert, I've been just curious. Is that just a regular Blu-ray behind you
Yeah, that's
of
just a regular
Jaws?
Blu-ray.
Okay,
Probably from
is the spine a
2010.
different color or is it just a light? Because it looks green. Okay, yeah, no, it was just the light. For some
Red
reason,
light.
the blue didn't look blue.
It's
The
funny.
blue is
So
just
it's also,
blue.
it's nice when you get a Blu-ray that's just the poster. We didn't fuck with
Yeah,
it. Just give it a weird design. No, it's just Jaws. And also, behind me, I have my vintage Jaws cup, which is pretty cool.
nice.
Yeah, 1975. I like it.
Oh,
I don't know
like
if you guys have seen
vintage.
the new steelbook for the new 4K of this, but
Yeah,
they kind of did fuck with the cover of it, and it's
They
not
yeah.
just a
typically do on
poster.
steelbooks.
It's kind of
What did they
kind of a
do?
generic poster.
It's a really bad looking, like cluttered
It's like
poster.
it's going for like a Drew Struzan vibe, but it's not Drew Struzan.
It's
Like
just a bunch of
kind of
floating
slapped
heads.
together. Yeah.
I like this. Like this isn't exactly the original art that they had for the first 4K release, but it's simplistic. It's it's just the shark head from the poster.
Oh
Um,
God,
yeah, you
this looks
just
like a
saw it.
Sony release. Have you guys ever seen
Yeah.
the regular Ghostbusters 4K?
I'm trying to remember what the cover of that looks like.
Yeah, I don't recall off the top of my
I'll
head.
send
I
it to
thought
you
it was
guys.
just the logo.
No, no. I'm talking about just the regular, like
Okay.
standard release. Hold on. Naturally, they make it the hardest thing in the world to find.
Yeah, because the
The-
Blu-ray that I have just has like the Ghostbusters logo with blue sludge in the background.
Yeah. Oh well, I have the weird Ghostbusters 1 and 2 pack
Oh yeah,
where the ghost is
I can't even do it.
it's
There
it
it
does look
is.
great.
That's what they did to
Oh yes, I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah,
There it
that's
is.
weird.
I lucked out.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what they did.
that's unfortunate. Oh wait,
Uh,
what the fuck?
what?
No, we didn't even let Ernie Hudson.
Those
What the
bastards.
Yeah.
fuck?
Well, to be fair, I don't think he's on the original poster either.
No, but this is a different. I think this is a different image, but
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, the three of them standing together. Because there is one poster that is just that, but Ernie Hudson's not in it.
I got lucky, Robert. I showed this off in the video that I did a while back, but I got that like ultimate release or whatever. For Ghostbusters, it came with 1, 2, and Afterlife. And then I don't know if you remember this. Paul Feig threw a bitch fit because they called it like the Ultimate Collection or whatever, but 2016 wasn't in it, so they threw a digital copy in there. So I own Ghostbusters 2016 on digital, even though that movie sucks.
And it's not canon with the other movies. Like,
yeah,
it makes sense to not be included.
Tyler says he has the 40th anniversary one, has a different poster, and they try to make it more look realistic. I'm assuming he's talking about Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, as always, we appreciate everyone being here. Check out the Patreon in our link below. I did forget to add the middle tier, so there will be a middle tier added. With that, I'll let you request commentaries, reviews, video games for me and Robert to play as soon as he decides to come back and stop leaving me hanging. No, I'm just kidding. And then YouTube memberships will work the same. You don't really set as much pricing with that. YouTube kind of automates all that, but we even and we have a Patreon and YouTube member exclusive Discord as well. Me, Robert, and Noah are in there. And I don't know if you guys had this when I went to join the voice chat because I just used the same image because why change it? I got confused for a second on which one was which. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys Sunday. Robert may not be able to make it, so there is a poll up in our posts in our community chat with a couple of different ideas for just me and Noah to hang out and talk shit for a little bit, mostly about Robert. We're going to be talking shit about Robert.
Oh yeah. Which we always do when you're not here.
Yeah, we always do. So be sure to vote on that. And if Robert decides, if nothing changes, then that's what we'll be doing Sunday. And then we'll get back to Resident Evil for next week.